And welcome back to the live stream from the international circuit here in Mondello, where we are just preparing to get our superbikes ready for their warm-up lap. There are currently many bikes out circulating, but we will have, of course, a chat from Jim Halligan. So we'll pass you over to Jim to get a grid walk.
To the Superbike grid here for the Principal Insurance Mondello Masters. Aaron McBride, first visit to Mondello, and really gelling with the track.
Yeah, it's a pretty good track. I'm really enjoying it. Just really need to get a start in this one and get away with the front lads. Are a little bit quicker than me, but a new tyre this one. So,
is this your first visit?
No, I was here about 10 years ago on a 600, so it's not my first rodeo.
So tell us, you're on the older BMW, but it's not slowing you down at all?
No, again, I just need to get it off the line and hang in there. You know, a few quicker bikes in front of me, but you know, they're quick riders too. So
you're enjoying it?
Yeah, really enjoying it. Lots of different variations of corners here, so yeah.
Well, it's great to see you here. All right.
Thank you.
And the man beside him, Andrew Wirty. Andrew, a lot of laps this weekend, lad.
Ah, stop, yeah. Hopefully I don't burn myself out.
You're doing the 600 and the Superbikes, so you've got 6 races all weekend.
Yeah, doing both the classes there. I only started doing the 600 there, maybe just maybe a bit more time on track and just to get out and more laps, you know. But to see how the body lasts.
Well, we were just talking earlier about how impressive you are on the 600 and how fast you've got to the front of the field. The Superbike's a little bit more difficult to set up, a lot of electronics, and you obviously need someone to drive the electronics. Who's in charge?
Really, I do a lot of the stuff myself, really, like set up wise and try to figure it out myself how it works, and at least I have a better understanding for it. If I have a problem that I can fix it, you know. But it's a big jump from the 600 up to this, so when you get onto the 600 it's nearly like a bit of a break, like in a way, like, you know. But I'm enjoying both classes, to be honest with you, so we keep pushing forward anyhow.
Well, it's great to see you with a big smile on your face. That's always a good start. So we'll move up the grid a little bit now. Just mind a step there. And a man who's always good for a bit of a word is Alan Kenny. Alan, back in the front row.
Yeah, look, we had a crash there in Kirkstown at the start of the year. Didn't realise it, but we had actually bent the frame on the bike. So it was out by 8 mil, the headstock. That's why we couldn't stay on it for the last couple of rounds, so we got that sorted. So yeah, hopefully now back to where we were.
8 mil is a massive amount for people who think, you know, 8 mil is only this little bit or whatever. On a motorcycle, it's huge.
Yeah, look, it just meant that for right-hand corners, the bike was just washing out away from you. You had no feel from the bike at all. So look, you could ride it at a certain pace, and beyond that, you weren't going to stay on it. So. Yeah.
So you're a happy bunny now?
I am, and we'll see after this one how happy I am.
Well, that's great. Great to see you here, Alan, all right? And good to see a big smile on your face, and we'll hand back up to Andy in the tower.
Thanks very much, Jim. Let's catch up with Alan Kenny and Andrew Wirty there. Andrew will be still buzzing from that podium, unexpected podium on a 675R Triumph. But he will have to remember that he has another 100 horsepower at his disposal at the moment with the Honda Fireblade number 39. And of course Alan Kenny on the R1M TMR sponsored Yamaha. And the grids are being cleared, where we will have one warm-up lap and then we will be underway. 8 laps again for this international race on the international circuit. Welcome back. If you are tuned in to our live stream, you can see the conditions are absolutely perfect for this short circuit race. And if it's your first time having a look at the stream, you'll get to see the extension that we have, the Lola Corner, 7A and 7B, Brams, Benz and Devaney's, before joining the rest of the national circuit. So riders being told to get ready for their sighting lap. We have 6 rows of machinery You may see on your pro Michael Sweeney is in entry, but just late home from Armoy last night. Won't be in contention for this round of the 11-12 of the Principal Insurance Superbike Masters, where Sweeney produced some super results before from starting at the back of the grid to cut his way through the field and jump on some podiums in Super Sport and Super Twin, but just not around at the moment. So you can see good footage. The riders cutting back in through turn 4 and using all of the these superbikes, every inch of tarmac, get the most grip from the slick tires. Let's see if we can take a look when they stop next time around to see if anybody is on some fresh tires, but most likely they will use a scrub from either yesterday or this morning's warm-up session and then throw on a fresh set for our last outing this evening, which will be our last race of the day, the Principal Insurance Superbike race. So we'll see if we can keep an eye on those tires to see whether they are shredded or new. For the moment, the riders just flip-flopping through Baran's bends, right-hander into the left-hander, and then back into Devaney's and rejoin the national circuit. Shawnee Smith on the green Yamaha R1, stablemate with Alan Kenny, number 13. Our grid marshals prepare, give the riders the revised grid positions based on their times from race 1. And once away, we will give you their grids. So 8 laps to contend with for this Principal Insurance Masters Superbike. And we're almost underway. And when the light goes out, they are gone. Kevin Keyes gets a great start. Brian McCormick does also. So let's watch the progress into Brian backs it into turn 1, but that's cost him a lot of time. So Alan Kenny pounces for second position and holds that second position into turn 2. But Brian McCormick sneaks under the inside of Alan Kenny to retake that second position, which has handed the advantage to Kevin Keyes, who will be anxious to put some points on the board after a less than productive morning. Super Sport letting him down. So tidily into turn 4 and on the gas early, then turn the wick up into Lola. All the riders safely out of turn 4, and already out of Lola is Kevin Keyes on the Darracor R1. Shawnee Smith, green number 13. Declan Madden on the S1000 RR. And that is Ian Weirty, number 86. And already Kevin Keyes, Brian McCormick, Alan Kenny and Emmett O'Grady are out of 7-1 and 7B on the rise into Baran Bends. The right-hander flops to the left. Kevin Keyes 3 or 4 bike lengths to the good of Brian McCormick. Alan Kenny still in third position. And not too far away, Emmett O'Grady on the VTL tag on the Fireblade. Bit of back brake for Kevin Keyes, steps out, but it's all right, keeps it under control. Will be first past the timing screen, and does indeed put in the fastest lap of the 146.7. Tidy into turn 1. Emmett O'Grady makes a pass on Alan Kenny. Long way to go though, still 7 laps in this Superbike race, our second feature race of the weekend. Brian McCormick closes the gap on Kevin Keyes. We're not near enough to make a lunge just yet. Brian might follow him around for a while just to see what lines Kevin is using. See if there's anywhere that he can dink a pass up the inside, round the outside. Similar spec power output from these 1000cc machine, so you're not going to see a simple pass on the straight. As we watch the rear entry into Lola. Alan Kenny still in touching distance of third place man Emmett O'Grady. Toledo rider riding quite well in the early stages of this 8-lap race. For the moment it's still Kevin Keyes out in front. Brian McCormick just a couple of bike lengths back even further now. And perhaps Emmett O'Grady will eye up a chance at taking that second place. So the all-important lap times as they come back into shot. Southside Motor Factors probably expect similar lap times from Kevin and Brian, and indeed Emmett and Alan. So let's watch them as pass the tower. 146 the last time out. 141.8 for Kevin, 142.1. So that explains the distance, the gap of half a second between Brian McCormick and leader Kevin Keyes at this moment. As we watch the pack circulate around turn 1 on lap 3 of 8. Kevin Keyes, Brian, Emmett, Alan nicely out of turn 3. Positive camber turns into negative camber over the brow of the hill and into turn 4. Superbike lap record set in 2022, 140 flat. Still some ways off that, but maybe with a high fuel load and tyre wear, we may not see that lap record being threatened. For the moment it is still Kevin Keyes, who probably has a second in the bank at this stage from Brian McCormick on the Macau Roadhouse by FHO Racing BMW M1000 RR. Good shot of turn in the right-hander for Baran's Benz into the left-hander, then the drive down into Devaney's, and that takes them back into Nordic Spirit to rejoin our national circuit. Kevin Keyes wheelies almost a length, and it gets on the a bit of a bobble there from Kevin Keyes as he exits that left-hander. So that will give Brian McCormick the opportunity to close the gap because he just shut off the gas, Kevin Keyes. So that was a nice little waking up reminder. Maybe that's an old tyre or a used tyre that Kevin has used, but certainly a bit of a moment for Kevin Keyes, and that's handed the fastest lap of the moment to Brian McCormick. 141.8 last time out. Next time around will be half race distance as they exit turn 3. The gap from Emmett O'Grady to Alan Kenny has gone out from 1.5 seconds, so maybe Alan Kenny's tyre wear has become an issue as well. Confirmation on your screen there of the fastest lap so far of the race from Brian McCormick as he hunts down Kevin Keyes. He can smell blood after that little wobble. He would have been the first person to see it. So that was on the left hand side of the tyre, so Kevin might be a little bit cagey on the exit to the Devaney's as he rides the turn back into Nordic Spirit before rejoining the national circuit once more out of 7A, 7B, lining up into Baran's. Brian will be happy, I think, to sit there for quite another few laps there. No sense of urgency in making a pass just at the moment. That will hand the advantage to Kevin to follow Brian if he does make a pass and see where he is weak, because it's obvious that both riders have the same pace at the moment. So Kevin takes a tighter line out of Nordic Spirit that time, goes a little bit wider into Southside Motor Factor, so he can get on the gas a little bit earlier and stand the bike up, use the horsepower advantage. That's worked well into turn 1. Both riders in a 142 there, so 0.4 of a second slower than the previous lap as we approach half distance. It's advantage Kevin Keyes at the minute. Carries that power wheelie from turn 2 into turn 3. Drops the bike in, picks it up, drops it down again at double apex. Turn 3, Brian McCormick has lost the toe of Kevin Keyes slightly. So I think it's going to be a good improved lap time for Kevin Keyes, maybe back into the 141s next time around, as we watch Alan Kenny follow third place man Emmett O'Grady into Lola Corner as they drop into 7A and 7B. Brian McCormick closes in on the brakes. Nicely out of 7B, Kevin Keyes. Brian. In the cup battle, Ronan Waters is leading Shawnee Smith and Declan Madden, but they are well back from the leaders, 20 seconds adrift. So we'll keep our focus on Kevin Keyes, Brian McCormick, the battle for first position, as they pop out of Nordic Spirit again for the 5th time. Tidy line from Kevin into Southside Motor Factors. Hard on the gas once more, using every inch of the road. And last lap was 142s again. Seems to be 142s for the top 3 riders at the moment on the last lap. So maybe they have used all of the grip that's available on those slick tires for the moment. So we'll probably see those lap times hold together and remain around the 142s for the remainder of the race. Probably a fresh rear planned for both. Kevin Keyes and Brian McCormick leave at turn 4 for Lola Benz in unison. Ronan Waters still lead Shawnee Smith from Declan Madden in the cup battle. Well, our eyes are firmly focused on Kevin Keyes as he drops it into 7A and 7B. Next time around they will have 2 laps left to go. Lap 5 of 8. Not much between these pairings, whereas Emmett O'Grady and Alan Kenny are in the high 42s or low 43s running their own race, but Brian McCormick still hasn't edged in onto that lead of Kevin Keyes. Maybe that's all that Brian has with the grip levels that he has. So let's watch the lap times at the moment. No movement from either bike, so both bikes firmly planted on the ground. Slightly different lines on the exit Southside Motor Factors. But that time around Kevin dropped into the 41s, almost matched by Brian, just 1/10 of a second of the gap. Fastest lap still Brian McCormick, 1:41.86. That's footage of Kevin on the double apex. Double apex, turn 3. And back round to turn 4. Gone 3/4 race distance at the moment, so if this race was to stop for any reason, we'd be able to declare a result based on the standings on the previous lap. But for the moment we are green in all the sectors. Seven A and 7B once more for Kevin Keyes. And they drop into Baran's. Emmett O'Grady and Alan Kenny out of shot now at the moment from the leaders. So Kevin Keyes tucks it into Devaney's. As they come back in towards the national circuit, they will be presented with the last lap flag, which is being prepared. Our start and finish officials. So this will be very interesting to see whether Brian has anything left or whether Kevin is going to run away with another victory in the Principal Insurance Superbikes. A mid 155. Brian responds with a 142.1, so that's handing a 1 second advantage to Kevin Keyes. So it looks as though Brian McCormick's race has run on the BMW, because we only have 6 or 7 corners left in this last lap for Brian to make a move, but it doesn't seem as though he can close that gap in any way to Kevin Keyes. So it's been a flag to flag. Good performance from Kevin Keyes on the Darracor R1M on this last lap into Lola for the last time, all the way around the right-hander, and little lift sweep to the left, drop down. Kevin Keyes has a very manageable gap at the moment from Brian McCormick, so it looks as though Brian's efforts to thwart Kevin Keyes are over. That's over a second and a half now between Kevin Keyes and Brian McCormick, but still Emmett O'Grady and Alan Kenny in third and fourth respectively. Kevin Keyes around Devaney's for the last time and would drive the Yamaha into south side for the very last time. Tidily done. Brian McCormick is way back, 2.5 seconds of a gap at the moment, so that's going to be a win for Kevin Keyes in the second race of the power wheelie for Brian across the line. In second, Emmett O'Grady will pick up third, Alan Kenny fourth in the Pro Principal Insurance Superbike race. And next up should be Aaron McBride, number 28, Donegal rider on the BMW S1000. And Andrew Weirdy with a fine result after his podium in the Supersport Pro. Daniel Matheson 7th. And next up we should see the Cup riders. Ronan Waters takes the win from Declan Madden. Shawnee Smith should be next for 13, and he is. And then we should expect the second of the Darracor R1 riders, Kevin Madigan. Davin Casey should be next up. And that's Davin Casey home, number 888 on the GSX R1000R. As does Colin Murphy, 185. And last home should be Ian Whearty. And he comes from Nordic Spirit for the last time. That's Ian Whearty, 86 Cup rider on the R1. '86 on the Yamaha R1. And that will complete your podiums for the Superbike race. And we will hand you over for the presentations, Fergus Brennan.
Principal Insurance Superbike race. So our first podium of the afternoon for them, second race of the weekend. So we'll get through to the main race in a second, but we're going to start as usual with the Principal Insurance Cup top three. And in third place, we just give him a second. He's still having a discussion with his team down there with Shawnee Smith. So as soon as Shawnee's ready, we'll get him up here. Tight battle between Shawnee, Declan Madden and Ronan Waters throughout the year in terms of the championship, and they're the top three in the cup here today. And the same goes for our Superbike championship overall. Kevin Keyes, Emmett O'Grady and Brian McCormick making the top three in that, and also the top three in the championship. So we're just going to call up Shawnee Smith. Shawnee, if you can make your way up. Just Shawnee Smith, somebody can let him know. He got his helmet off there. Shawnee Smith. Sean Smith, needed on the podium, please. Declan Madden's going over to let him know. So could we have Sean Smith, please, to the podium? I'm going to have to go over to him. Sorry about that. A deep in conversation there. So in third place, Sean. So if you hop up on the podium there, Sean, I'll get you your award in 1 second. In second place, Declan Madden. Keep going. That's it, Sean. Yeah, Declan, you're over this side. And then our winner, Ronan Waters. So we'll let Ronan get up out of the way there. Well done, Sean. Third place. Take your trophy there.
Thank you.
How was that?
Yeah, good race. It it's very warm out there and pretty greasy. Lots of slips and slides, but good race, good race.
We've had a lot of people say that today, but yet we've had 3-lap records, which is that's a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how, but yeah, I really can't answer that one now for you. But it just every tap at the throttle seems to lose the rear very easily. We'll say maybe it's got a little bit hotter there now through lunch break or that, but yeah, good.
Are you happy with third?
Happy for now.
Well done, Sean. Well, you've another goal later. Declan, second place. This man ahead of you, he's hard to catch, isn't he?
He is. My starts are killing me, so heavy race to make up so much time. It's hard work. But then when I get to them, it's nearly too late. I've only caught him at the last corner. Made the lunge, didn't work. It's life, isn't it?
But it's a strong chase between the two of you for the championship as well. At the moment, you've got the advantage.
I had the advantage. I think it's fairly close now. He won yesterday. I think he won yesterday. So I think there's about 2 points in it now. So, look, we've one race to go. So,
not bad for a championship you weren't going to compete in.
No, I was allowed to do the same. So,
well done on today, and you have another goal to get him later. Ronan, hop down there. You're one of those people in the paddock who's too tall to talk to while they're up on the step. Enjoyed that back on the winner's circle, back on the top step.
Yeah, it was definitely tough. Again, Declan was behind me and see +0 on the board the whole race, and it was just under pressure, but just made it home, got it through, delighted.
And how's the bike going?
It's struggling at the minute. We have bothers with the BMW at the minute, so we're still pending on that, getting that fixed, but the Honda she's definitely under pressure.
Well, it's still getting you onto the top step, so well done. Our top three in the Cup, Superbike Cup, Shawnee Smith, Declan Madden and Ronan Waters. And we'll just take a quick second to get the trophies up on the podium, then we'll go with the main race. So now moving on to the main Principal Insurance Superbike top three, and in third place after a battle with Alan Kenny the whole race, it's Emmett O'Grady. Second place after a battle with Kevin Keys the whole time, it's Brian McCormack. And our winner, Kevin Keys. See Kevin limping a little bit. We'll have to ask him about that. I know he's had a couple of offs in the last few events, so we'll see how he's feeling. We'll just let him get across there. Brought the young lad up with him as usual. Always joins us. Good sporting shake of the hands there. Emmett, well done. Well done. The boys seem to have a little bit on you. Is that the circuit that we're on, the international, or I mean, you were closer on the national the last time?
Yeah, we just tried to bridge that gap, but they kept banging in the the mid 41s and just didn't have it spinning up, and became hard work, and ended up giving myself a bit of arm pump, and knew Alan was behind me, so tried to I want to say I tried to take it easy because I was still trying to close on them, but had nothing for the lads, but just tried to maintain third.
So there was a small element of settling for third.
Yeah, I still had to stay in front of Alan.
Okay, well done. Another third place in the bag. Brian, that makes it 1-1 now. You got him yesterday. After following this today, you weren't able to do it.
Yeah, I think the grey hairs were shown in that one. Yeah, no, it was good. I kind of kept it till the last 3 laps, and I said I'd go then, but honestly, Kevin rode the last 2 laps very, very well. And I tried to go, I lost the front 2 or 3 times. I said prize money's good, but it's not that good. This bike is very expensive, so I'll bring it home in second, then we'll go for it in the third race.
Okay, well done. We have to move on quickly because they've started the Superbike or the Sidecar race, and in fairness to them, we need to give them the air time as well. So Kevin, very quick interview with you. How was that for you?
It was tough, to be honest. I'm actually holding an injury from yesterday's Supersport race on my knee, so left-handers are quite hard, but you know, it was a great race, especially with Brian, and I wanted to get one up again to try and close this championship back down, so we've put it back to 1 point between us, so it'll be a good race now next one.
Okay, well done. We'll see who comes out on top into the decider later on today. 1 win apiece this weekend for Kevin Keys and Brian McCormack, thanks to our top 3 in Superbike, and we'll hand back to Andy for the Sidecar race.
Thanks very much, Fergus. So we are already underway in our final Sidecar race of the afternoon, which is a 5-lap battle between 6 rows of bikes. So we'll give you a quick grid as they are out on the circuit. So it's Darren O'Dwyer, Mark Gash took pole position for Mark Codd and Declan Brady. Row 2 is Anthony McDonald and Aidan Hutton. Andrew Hutton, apologies. Cathal Gordon, Cathal Rogers are also completing row 2. Row 3 is Aidan McCarthy and Craig King. Dermot McRaymond and Nicky Burns, row 3. Ryan Deneen, Fran Newton. Fergus Woodlock, James Ging, complete row 4. Row 5 is Sam Wright, Liam Gordon, Eugene Kettle, Keith Lynch, Philly Newton, Jamie Evans, Jamie Cartwright and Owen Kerr, complete row 6. So Mick Donovan not out in this race, and they already have 1 lap under their belt, and the lead is with Darren O'Dwyer, Mark Gash already with a commanding lead. It looks as though Mark Codd and Declan Brady left a lot of rubber on the start finish, so not the getaway they would have wanted, and that probably reflects in their 2:04 second out lap and a 1:58 from Darren O'Dwyer and Mark Gash straight away. So let's see if Mark Codd can respond with a flying lap, but already the margin of 5.9 seconds. It's going to be a big ask for the LCR based team, as we can watch, and we have a hand up from one of the outfits there on the entry to Lola, so that's going to indicate a retirement. Hopefully nothing too substantial. While we watch, looks like Fergus Woodlock and James Ging, and behind them that's Anthony McDonald caught up in the middle of them, so really didn't make the greatest of starts, I think. And we look at number 16, Ryan Deneen and Fran Newton, and they go into looks as though they are struggling with an issue as well, so that could be a retirement for Ryan Deneen and Fran Newton, unfortunately. As we watch Dermot McRaymond and Nicky Burns lead this trio of bikes past the start finish. Anthony McDonald just behind Andrew Hutton, followed by Aidan McCarthy and Craig King in 5th. The lead still with Darren O'Dwyer, Mark Gash. That's gone out to 11 seconds, so that's game over for Mark Codd and Cathal Rogers. If game over for that race with a gap of 5 seconds per lap, doesn't seem there's anything they can do about it. Anthony McDonald's made a move on Dermot McRaymond and Nicky Burns, as did Aidan McCarthy. So that's the remaining podium spot that's up for grabs, and the nimble little 600 of Anthony McDonald gets in and out of turn 4 with the chair wheel firmly pinned to the ground. But it looks as though Aidan McCarthy is having a look up the inside. The extra power of the 1000cc bike has gotten him into Lola ahead of Anthony McDonald. Perhaps Anthony can have a stab on the brakes into 7A, get the bike stopped a little bit quicker. He has closed the gap all right, and is in the middle of that sandwich between the F1 boys, and again maybe be able to shoot up the hill or into the left right hander. That is Baran's Benz, and he's dropped a further position back as we watch the leader Darren O'Dwyer and Mark Gash put in a 1:54. Last lap for Mark Codd was a 1:59, so over 5 seconds adrift as we pass the halfway mark. This 5-lap race. Anthony McDonald does make up 1 position and is having a look around the outside of Southside Motor Factors. Holds an inside line. We'll try a drive maybe on the inside, see if we get a tow down to start finish. That number 945 F2 bike been swamped by the 1000cc power of the F1 bikes, but holds a nice line into turn 1. Can he hold that line for turn 2? Not quite. So he is in 5th position as they head out to turn 3, and has dropped back significantly there, so perhaps an issue for Anthony McDonald and Andrew Hutton in the closing stages of this 5-lap race. The lead still with Darren O'Dwyer and Mark Gash, a healthy 154 the last time out. 16-second lead from Mark Codd and Killian Rogers. And an interesting fact, we see Jamie Cartwright out, partner of Darren O'Dwyer, so I'm not sure who's babysitting the kids while Mammy and Daddy are out racing sidecars. But that's a first for me. Mammy and Daddy racing in the same race in Mondello. Maybe it's happened before, but not on my watch. So Darren O'Dwyer and Mark Gash will be embracing the last lap flag as they pass the tower for the penultimate time in this weekend. Take maximum points. Anthony McDonald looks as though he's almost coasting now as he flips into Brands Benz. That last podium place is still up for grabs between Dermot McRaymond and Aidan McCarthy, number 53. 907 is McRaymond, with Nicky Burns, Superbike rider, on the back for the first time. We have our eyes focused on them as Mark Codd, Killian Rogers start their last lap. 3-way title. Anthony McDonald has made inroads to that battle for the last podium spot against the 2 F1 bikes of Aidan McCarthy and Dermot McRaymond. Everybody almost on the last lap now, and the leaders are already well into the additional international corners. Darren O'Dwyer is already coming back in for Brands Benz. But still advantage Aidan McCarthy for that last podium spot. Again, a drivers and a passengers championship at stake here. So even though a passenger may lose his ride due to a mechanical, he can still hop on the back of somebody else's and get some points on the board for the passengers championship. So there you are. That's your leader, Darren O'Dwyer, approaching a back marker. Should get around him quite easily, and he does. He'll disappear out of view momentarily to come back from Devaney's and into Nordic Spirit and out of Southside Motor Factors for the very last time this weekend. It's going to be a win for Darren O'Dwyer and Mark Gash. And that is just past 1 lap to go. Still number 915, Philly Newton and Jamie Evans. Watch the chair wheel lift of Aidan McCarthy, and that's going to hand an advantage to Anthony McDonald, who makes up 2 positions there, and that's the last podium spot. So if he can hold that on the way into Nordic Spirit for the last time, get his braking arrangement. Oh, it looks as though a lock up there for Aidan McCarthy, so he has an issue with the handling of that machine, and that is going to present a podium for Aidan, Anthony McDonald and Andrew Hutton. Brilliant last lap from the F2 mounted guys on that ex-Lynch TMR Suzuki 600. As we wait for Fergus Woodlock and James King to come home, and they do in 6th. Next up shall be Ryan Deneen, Philly Newton, Sam Wright and Liam Gordon, and then Ryan Deneen, Philly Newton, Eugene Kettle, Keith Lynch. 915 is Philly Newton and James Evans, and 917 Jamie Cartwright, partner of Darren O'Dwyer, and Owen Keir. So there is on the graphic your confirmation of that sidecar result. So it's F1, F1, F2 in first, second and third position. And Anthony O'Donnell would be quite pleased with his result. The F2 bikes with a battle against the F1 mounted guys in the last couple of laps. So we will hand you over to Fergus Brennan for the podium presentations of our final sidecar outing of the weekend.
Well, that's our final sidecar race of the weekend, and another win for Darren O'Dwyer and Mark Gash, but we'll get round to the other two places as well very shortly. We just give them a chance. I think they're all ready to go. So in third place on his first run on a sidecar rather than being the passenger, the first one as a driver, it's Anthony MacDonald and Andrew Hutton. So if the boys hop up there, we present them with their trophies when we have everybody up. And then we have in second place Mark Gash and Mark Codd and Killian Rogers. And then it's Darren O'Dwyer and Mark Gash, our winners once again. So we'll just let the lads get up there. Hop up here. Hop up there, Mark, and we'll get those trophies to you in a second. And then our top two up on the top step of the podium. Well, Anthony. Andrew, well done. So, Anthony, first time out in the driving seat, and you're on the podium.
I am happy enough, yeah. I kind of helps. I have cheat codes for this. I've been on the back of it for the last 2 or 3 years, like, so I know what it's supposed to do. But no, I'm happy enough anyway. Yeah, it went well.
And is this something you're going to stick at, or are you going to be going back to being a passenger?
I'll see how I break the news to Derek. See how he takes it first. But I know it's always something that I think every passenger kind of aspires to move forward and grab the bars. So we'll see what's on the market, see what bikes are available.
Okay, well, you've obviously got just as much ability in the driving seat, so well done on that one. And we'll move on. And now, Mark, you're going to have to speak for once. You're not going to get away with it. You weren't meant to be here, but now it's gone all right once you were here.
Yeah, look, it was struggling to get passengers aiming as away in Belgium. So Declan Brady hopped on yesterday and we had a good run, and young Killian here offered to go today, so it's his first podium, so delighted for him.
Oh, very good. We'll have to speak to Killian then. First podium. Your name's been on the entry list a few times. I didn't realise you hadn't made it up here. You've been on with a few different people, haven't you?
Yeah, just doing the main season with Kieran Gordon, and broke down yesterday, cracking the chassis. So
it's good to hop up here now and get a podium.
Yeah, exactly.
Well done, Mark. I know not to even try talking to Darren. So, Mark, another good showing by the sidecars. You had a good entry this weekend. You put on a good show. Not quite as close today as it was over the last 2 races yesterday, but still pretty good.
Well, yesterday was exceptional. The 2 races we had with Sparky and Declan yesterday were outstanding, tooth and nail. But, I mean, look at the podium. Anto's first weekend racing on the podium with a passenger who's never been here before. Sparky on the podium with 2 different passengers this weekend, and a young lad who's his first podium here. Like, the future of sidecar racing in Ireland is on the podium here. Not myself and Darren, we're old fellas. It's the youth of it. It just shows that the class is growing.
Okay, well, that's what we like to see. Obviously, a little bit of variety created by the 3-wheelers here at the Masters with all the other solo racers, so it's great to see it growing.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, you've got an LCR F1 on the podium, you've got a Baker Steel frame F1, and you've got a Dave Molyneux F2. So you've got 3 totally different bikes as well that are still out there competing against each other.
Yeah, the viewers will all have to go and look that up and see what you're talking about now, because you've lost me.
They can read it in my book when I get it published, Fergus.
Hey, well done to our top 6 on the podium. And we'll hand back to Andy for our second Megabikes Ballymount Twins race of the day.
Thanks very much, Fergus. And we are already having our final Megabikes Ballymount Super and Production Twins race. We already have our competitors out in the circuit. So some have a sighting lap completed. So we will have a 7-lap race for the last Twins outing of the weekend. Hopefully we can see Oisin Maher making his way out after that nasty off in the Supersport race before lunch. We good to see Oisin back on his 660 Aprilia. We should wait and see. Already some riders sitting on the grid. Number 63, that's Michael Murphy on a production twin. 76 is Michael Sheeran alongside him. .151 on row 6 is Thomas McGalligan. Track temperature holding at 35 degrees and a nice breeze popping through there, keeping everybody cool. Has the air temperature of 21 degrees. Still lots of people celebrating in the Sidecar podium, and why not indeed. And some good crowds in the grandstand as well, enjoying the Megabikes sponsored big screen. And thanks to Megabikes for that. So if you're sitting in the grandstand in the shade, you can still cop all of the exciting action from the additional corners that the international circuit is providing for us all weekend. And more riders coming back. We see Robert O'Connell, number 189 on the Aprilia. Kerry Ryder will have no interest in the All-Ireland football final. It kicks off in about half an hour's time, or as the purists would say, it throws in. Keelan Smith in the middle of row 2 on his Aprilia, number 52. He's had a busy weekend. Here comes Jeff Quilter from Kinsale on his production twin SV 650. Anxiously wait to see if well, it doesn't look as though Oisin is going to be out for this race, and indeed PJ Jacobson, who done so well on last one, is also a non-starter. So this could be a really open field, this final super twin and production twin mix, of course. So it'll be a brave man to pick a winner from these 6 rows of starters. And for the moment, it's going to be a lonely row 1 start for Robert O'Connell, who will effectively be in pole position with Oisin Maher not taking part, and Jacob Stevenson. Let's see if we can see his awnings and where he had his R7 parked up. See, are they still in situ? So depleted field for this third and final Megabikes Ballymount production twin and super twin race. That's Robert O'Connell and Keelan Smith, it looks like, getting some temperatures in their tyres on 7A and 7B. Of course, Michael Sweeney again is in your programme, but due to a late finish in Armoy and late home last night, will not be on the grid this afternoon. Again, we'll just remind folks of the Motorcycle in Ireland initiative to raise money for our insurance bill for next year. So if you can at all, get onto the mciholeshot.com website and get your ticket, or go house with a buddy, €100 ticket to secure our standings for racing in 2025. It'd be nice to go into the final third of the Principal Insurance Master Championship, knowing that we have a 2025 championship to look forward to, whereas currently things are rather grim has to be said, until we get our numbers up for that draw. First prize, of course, €150,000. Keelan Smith already in place. Jeff Quilter picks up his spot on row 2. So your grid looks like this. In pole position, effectively, it's Robert O'Connell. Row 2 is Jeff Quilter, Keelan Smith, and Mark McGowan. As we look to the lights, the lights are out and there go. That's a cracking start from Jeff Quilter on the production base SV against the Aprilia of Robert O'Connell, who will have a much better braking arrangement and does get the entry into turn 1 and will lead the pack out of turn 2 and already built up a substantial lead into turn 3. Looks like another Aprilia. That could be Keelan Smith, who's made inroads. Mark McGowan even completes the first 3, so that is Robert O'Connell with Keelan Smith behind him and Mark McGowan in third as they come out of turn 4 for the first time of 7. And they disappear into Lola Corner. Deceivingly fast right-hander. There is Will Roberts, and Will Roberts is actually back from Armoy and in today, and he qualified on the 4th row, so he would have started the first race from the back of the grid, having missed qualifying yesterday due to competing in the Armoy road races, but has made it back. That's eager for racing, Will Roberts. So your first 4 is Robert O'Connell from Keelan Smith, Mark McGowan and Jeff Quilter as your top 4. As they flip out of Brands Bends through Devaney's and into Nordic Spirit, up into Southside Motor Factors, mix of production and Super Twins, Aprilia versus Suzuki. And first 4 riders are below the 2 minutes from a standing start, which is pretty impressive. 157 Robert O'Connell, Keelan Smith 157.5. Very little between the first 2 riders. Jeff Quilter then is 1 second back with Mark McGarn. Adam Carey completing the podium for the production twins at the moment. Sorry, Super Twins. He is on the Earth 7. Fairly stock machine by all accounts, until some performance parts become available. That's your leading bunch of 4. Still Robert O'Connell, number 189. Keelan Smith, close proximity, and then the production bikes of Jeff Quilter and Mark McGowan holding up 2nd and 3rd. Keelan Smith having a look up the inside of Robert O'Connell, and he makes it stick. Will there be a fight back from Robert O'Connell? Who certainly won't be in between 7A and 7B. It's not a place you can pass. And let's see if Keelan Smith can get his head down and into Brands Bends, perhaps break away from the lesser experienced Robert O'Connell. Keelan Smith with plenty of experience on the international circuit as they go around Devaney's into Nordic Spirit to rejoin the national circuit. And has a nice little gap built up already. Robert O'Connell went a little bit wide into Southside Motor Factors, gives slight advantage to Mark McGowan, but not enough to make a pass. And now Jeff Quilter is mounting a challenge on that production machine of Mark McGowan as they come round turn 1 into turn 2 to turn 3. Fastest lap of this race was indeed so far Keelan Smith, who made great inroads to Robert O'Connell on that last lap to take the lead. And now they both are first into turn 4. Gap of 0.3 of a second from Keelan Smith to Robert O'Connell. We'll monitor that gap for the next couple of laps. And a separate battle, but a battle for the final podium of the afternoon. Going on in third and fourth from Mark McGowran, who leads Jeff Quilter for now. But both vying for important points in the Production Twin Championship. And for the moment it's going the way of Mark McGowran as we look at that battle for third and fourth, which Mark McGowran currently leads. Jeff Quilter tentatively has a look up the inside Baran's bends, but just can't do anything for the moment. But he is close enough if he can dive in late on the brakes. Maybe not into Devaney's, but maybe not into Nordic Spirit either, but perhaps if he can get a run out in the next left-hander and get a drive into Southside Motor Factories, might be able to form a pass. Let's see. No, he's lost a bit of time actually in that final sector as the leaders come back into shot. To start their third 3 laps of 7. It's still Keelan Smith in the lead. Very little between them. The fastest lap of the race that time, last lap, went to Robert O'Connell, a 1:51 flat. I don't think we're going to see the Super Twin time of Jacob Stevenson challenged at the moment. That was a lightning lap from Jacob Stevenson. For the moment, it's the Aprilia riders of Keelan Smith and Robert O'Connell in control of this race. Mark Carey is holding on to 5th position at the minute. He is on a standard R7. Michael Shearer, number 76, on a Production Twin, is in close contention. Have a look at Jeff Quilter. He has a look up on the inside of the entry to 7A and 7B, and he does make a pass. I don't think Mark McGowran will be able to do anything about that. He does actually make a maneuver back under Jeff on the entrance to 7A. So we have a good dice going on for third position, but it's actually the victory for the Production Twin that we're really looking at, as we see Adam Carey and Michael Sheeran do battle in the foreground, background even. This is Jeff Quilter eyeing up perhaps another maneuver on Mark McGowran. Still, the next time around they'll still have 3 laps left to go. And let's keep an eye on the lap times for Keelan Smith and Robert O'Connell as they flash the tower once more. That's still the fastest lap on the previous lap for Robert O'Connell, so 1:51 each on that last time around. And Jeff Quilter has a look around the outside of Mark McGowran. There's a little bobble on the exit of turn 1, but not enough to halt his progress or allow Jeff Quilter any advantage. And we've seen them both line up to double apex into turn 3. Lie the bike over, pick it up slightly, then lie it down again as the camber changes and the corner tightens. It's the Production Twins we're watching on the entry to turn 4. Again, he looks as though Jeff Quilter is running slightly wide here, but it's only the fact that he can let the bike run wide on the exit to get more drive out into Lola, the right-hander. And this is where he's sitting up, potentially having a look. Maybe he won't go yet and reveal his hand, but for the moment he is off the podium. He'd be quite happy to go back to Kinsale with some silverware, which he indeed will with the production. Oh, he has a look around the inside of entry to 7A, but no, can't quite go, and won't have a go at 7B either. So we're in for a dramatic finish on these production SV Suzukis. Which is Mark McGowran's advantage at the minute. Very little between these two riders, 0.1 of a second. And it is Keelan Smith who still leads the Super Twin Challenge from Robert O'Connell. As we see Jeff again get laid on the brakes. Robert O'Connell has reacted to Keelan Smith's advances and had a look on the inside of turn 1 there, but didn't make it stick. Jeff Quilter goes very wide on the exit of turn 1, picks up some of that cement dust from earlier on as well. But he will have lost a lot of time there on the exit of turn 2, having to sit the bike up and then turn it and flick it in again. So with just over 2 laps to go in this last Megabikes outing of the afternoon, it's still up for grabs. Keelan Smith and Robert O'Connell, very little between them two, as we watch them disappear into Lola for the penultimate time. Jeff Quilter again has a look up the inside of Lola, but has to stop the bike, stand it up, and he will lose time on the exit of Lola corner. But here we see him building up a bit of momentum to try and have a go on the left-hander before 7A, but decides not to do it this time. Maybe he'll do it with 1 lap left to go. The last lap flag is indeed being prepared. So the next time these riders come out of 7B, as they are at the minute, will be the last lap. Keelan Smith's been passed by Robert O'Connell. Good shot from our camera team. So we are looking at the final stages, his penultimate lap. Robert O'Connell regains the lead from Keelan Smith in the Super Twins. Will Roberts has fought his way all the way up into 6th position, which is quite remarkable. So the last lap flag is being held out, and it's Robert O'Connell who's going to pick it up first, ahead of Keelan Smith. 7 seconds adrift. Here come the production twins of Mark McGowan and Jeff Quilter. So if Jeff's going to have a go, he's only got this lap left to do it, and then it's all over until August. And that is, seem to have lost Adam Carey somewhere. Yeah, it looks like a retirement on lap 4. Not quite sure where we lost Adam. And here's your leaders interview and your 3rd and 4th place riders at the moment. So it's still Mark McGowan riding a very mature race to keep the advances of Jeff Quilter, who you can see takes a tighter line into Lola but doesn't make it stick. And he's got that bike lined up for another potential move, and he has got the pass, but Mark McGowan fights back on the entry to 7A, but he's going to lose a lot of time on the way in, outbraked himself. Jeff Quilter takes full advantage on the exit midway through 7A and 7B. So with only 3 corners left to go, it's advantage turn to Jeff Quilter in the production race, and he has that bike rightly on its side into Brands Bends. 2 corners left before Southside, so he's into Devaney's. Makes up more space and has 3 or 4 of a bike length lead as they come into Nordic Spirit for the final time. The last left-hander. Is there anything Mark McGowan can do? Doesn't seem to be. Jeff Quilter has made his move, made it stick and make it count, as the win goes to Robert O'Connell and Keelan Smith, second in the Super Twins race, and Jeff Quilter takes the win in the production class from Mark McGowan. And a battle going on for 5th and 6th. Gone to that 5th place in production on the road has gone 76 Michael Sheeran, and next up should be Will Robertson and Michael Dunleavy. Then comes Michael Murphy. Here's Des Butler, number 9 on the SV650 production twin. And next up should be Thomas McGilligan. And this should be Shane Carl next over the line. And then the trio of David Broderick, Gavin Buckley. Gavin Buckley, Mark Carey and David Broderick are our final finishers, as Number 952, Adam Reardon, completes the finishes list for the production twin and super twin. So technical inspection again due for our twin riders before they can join the podium party. And confirmation on your screen there of that result, the win for Robert O'Connell in the super twins. Good to see Will Roberts after a full weekends of racing Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Has competed both sides of the border and will complete this, I think it's the super twin podium behind Robert O'Connell and Keelan Smith. It would indeed be that's race control calling for Supersport and Superbike B riders to pit lane while we confirm your results once more for the super twin and production twin. It is Robert O'Connell from Keelan Smith and Will Roberts takes the final podium spot in the super twin class. And in production twins, a fine battle between Mark McGowan and Jeff Quilter, who took first and second. Jeff Quilter coming out victorious. Our Supersport and Superbike B riders are in the circuit while our podium presentations are being handled by Fergus Brennan.
Thanks, Andy. Our final Megabikes Super Twins and Production Twins race of the weekend. We're going to start as usual with the Production Twins, and in third place is Michael Dunleavy. Michael, are you in here with us? The bikes have been held in Park Ferme, so he may not yet. Sorry, Michael Sheeran, not Michael Dunleavy. Michael Dunleavy's a pre-injection racer, but Michael Sheeran there in third place. In second place, Mark McGowan. And our winner, Jeff Quilter. So we'll let the boys come across, get up on the podium, and then we'll present them with their awards. I have to start by apologising to Michael Sheeran. Well done anyway, whatever your name is, well done, Michael. There you go. I know you were really happy to be up on the podium the last time. You look even more happy this time.
Yeah, it is nice to be up here. Hard work out there, so it is. So I just want to say thanks to Davey Broderick and Jack O'Donoghue there for helping me out. So cheers, boys.
Good way to finish the weekend for them.
Lovely, lovely. Thanks a million.
Okay, well done, Michael. Mark, the battle continues between you and Jeff. He got the better of you this time.
Aye, well, he earned that now, to be fair to him. Like, I just can't complain at all. I gave him my best go and he got me there, so absolutely chuffed, to be honest. It was just deadly racing. We literally must have changed about 8 or 9 times, I'd say, to the whole race, like just swapping and changing, diving up on the inside of each other. So that's the best racing you want and the best crack, isn't it? Like, that's what we're here for, so that's the buzz. Delighted.
Okay, well done. Don't need to say anything else. All said in one go there. Jeff, back on the top step. I'm sure you're really happy with that.
Yeah, delighted. Me and Mark had a great battle there and it was good fun. Just thanks to Steve from North Dublin Motorcycles for setting up the suspension and getting us right this weekend. So couldn't have done it without it, really.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down year for you, hasn't it? You've got some great results and other results where it hasn't quite gone the way you wanted.
Yeah, it's been a good year so far, better than the last. But first round I made a mistake while leading and it could cost us it, but we'll try and make up for it. And other than that, it's just the rain, which we hope for good weather next time.
Okay, well done to our top 3 in Production Twins. Michael, Mark and Jeff. No bother. No bother, Mark. Right, we just got the trophies down on the podium and then we'll get on with our overall Twins result and Super Twin result as it turns out. So in third place, on his way back from Armoy, I'm sure he's delighted he made the detour here on the way down. It's William Roberts. Only joined us earlier today. Had to start from the back of the grid in race 1, and now here he is up on the podium. Well done to William. We'll get around to giving him the trophy there in a second. In second place, Kellen Smith. Regular visitor to the podium this year in the Super Twins, and our winner on his first weekend on the Super Twin Aprilia, it's Rob O'Connell. Big cheer from the crowd here. Well done, William. I'm sure you're glad you came here now.
I'm very happy. I thought I was wrecked this morning, and I was slowing down, and my lady and James were waving tree at me, and I was like, I have to finish.
So in the first race, how did it go from the back of the grid?
I had good fun, but because I haven't been international for so long, I kind of struggled a bit to get the lines.
Of course, you'd no testing here on Friday or anything.
Nothing, so I got up to 12th position, and then I got a really good start this time. And
here you are.
Happy out.
Well done, well done. Kellen, this man I can never get any words out of. I was hoping he was going to be on the top step, because then I would have forced him to say a little bit more. Have you anything to say about that? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, well, I was hoping to be on the top step, but Rob had a good run there, a good little battle, but he got the better of me.
So where did he finally put it to bed?
Coming up out of Tarzan, he was a lot quicker than me. Tarzan 2.
Okay, well done, Kellen. Kellen raced in Supersport and in Super Twins. Very busy weekend for him. Great to see him up there. And Rob, first weekend on the Aprilia, and here you are in the top step.
Yeah, probably gifted it today now because O'Sheen and Jacob didn't start, but I'm going to take it. Small wins.
Absolutely. Nobody's going to know that when they see your first place trophy, will they?
Oh, no, it's okay. No, look, we had a good old crack. Keelan got past me there and we were ding-donging for a few laps and just came right in the finish, so all happy.
Okay, well done on your return to the Twins races. Well done to our top 3 in the Super Twins and in Production Twins earlier on. I'm going to hand back to Andy.
Thanks very much, Fergus. Once more, we turn our attention back to the circuit where our Superbike Supersport B riders are preparing for their last outing of the afternoon. Again, a 7-lap race for the B riders. Who are on their sighting lap ahead of their, I think this is actually, we're too busy watching the warm-up, so I think this is their actual warm-up lap. So when they come around once more, they will be provided grid positions for the last time, and then they will be off for 7 laps. So all coasting around 7A and 7B, where we saw Jeff Quilter make that pass in the previous race. So a combination of Superbikes and Supersports in various spots dotted all over the grid. We try to keep you informed as best we can. We could battle in the last one, of course. Albert Pender was missing from the last B race because he qualified for the Supersport race based on his times within the initial Superbike and Supersport B race held yesterday. So that explains why he was missing off the front row. And we will give you the grids when we have our riders underway. Good to see Trevor Foran back, number 144. He didn't finish the last race, whether it was a mechanical or ran off, not quite sure, but no, actually he isn't back on the grid. Oh, there he is, he actually is. So good to see Trevor there, number 144 in the R1. Whatever repairs he made over the lunch break seem to have been good. And we're under starters orders. It's Gary Crean who will lead from pole position from Robbie McGowan and Ross Quinn. Trevor Foran, as we said, in row 2 from John Griffin and Stuart Hession. And it is Gary Crean who leads into turn 1. Robbie McGowan, number 76, is ZX10R, followed by 925 Ross Quinn. And all the riders safely into turn 3. Ross Quinn from Wicklow on R6 Yamaha. All the riders, of course, with the 9 prefixed to their number, new to racing, and easily identifiable by the bib that they wear for the first season on the short circuits. After that, they will elect to choose whatever number they wish, but they won't be restricted to wearing that yellow bib. Gives the other riders just a reminder, give them a little bit of space. The tight apexes or braking areas, or if they end up back markers in some of the bigger races, to just show them a little bit more respect and make sure they pass them safely. As we watch Gary Crean, number 79, on the R1 drop into Baran's Benz for the first time. There's Trevor Foran in your shot. That looks John Griffin, who was following him. There is number 128 Wayne Gaffney on the blue R1 from Meath, County Meath. And you can see Robbie McGarren on number 76, the ZX10R, who is running second. Now we'll see what the lap times are. 1:54 for Gary Crean, 1:55.7 for Robbie McGowan. Trevor Foran is in third place after making up one position from his second row start. Rory Flahav, number 908, got that time penalty in the last lap, would be eager to make up for that mistake, and has indeed. Graham Smallwood starts from row 5 after having his bike repaired following on off yesterday, and he is already up to 10th position. And that is heading off into Lola Corner. Gary Crean, followed by Robbie McGarn. As we watch them crack that left-hander and drop down into 7A and 7B for the second time. Last time this weekend, they're outing in their B race. Trevor Foran, number 144, holding on to that third position. Cork rider based on the R1. And that's Graham Smallwood, you can see, and just ahead of Graham is number 951, Aaron McCann. See if we can find out what that is Aaron McCann is riding. That's Aaron McCann, number 951 from Limerick, on his R6. As we look at Trevor Foran and Rory Flahav. Rory Flahav, number 908, and John Griffin, number 63, behind them once more. Fighting for the final podium finish. Gap of 2.5 seconds for Gary Crean ahead of Robbie McGowan, who run in first and second. But we are focused on the battle for third at the moment, as they start their third journey into turn 3 of laps, 7 laps in this final Supersport and Superbike B race. And that looks like Stuart Hessian on his ZX6R, the Westmeath rider, number 146, at the back of that battle for third, and maybe he'll be able to make some inroads to that battle for third position. Keep an eye on his times. Last time out was a 1:55. Gary Crean's last lap was the fastest lap of the race. That was a 1:51. And there you have your battle for third. Stuart Hessian is eking into that group of 3 riders: Trevor Foran, Rory Flahav and John Griffin. Combination of Superbikes and Supersport. Ross Queen is up one place into seventh from 8th. Pass on Adrian Heaney. And here is a manoeuvre into Southside Motor Factors from Rory Flahav under Trevor Ford, and he makes it stick. So Rory Flahav will have clear track in front of him for the next 4 laps. And we'll keep an eye on his time. Stuart Hession will hopefully join the fray, but has dropped back somewhat. So Trevor Ford and John Griffin may become locked in a battle for 4th, as Gary Crean and Robbie McGowan continue their lead. Catching up with a few people at Lunton. They're a very busy paddock at the moment. Lots going on, lots of activity. Still Gary Crean and Robbie McGowan lead this race. Rory Flahav in 3rd place. Starts to break free. That looked like Trevor Ford ran a little bit wide there, so had to lift off the gas. So that might give John Griffin the opportunity to make a manoeuvre. Keep an eye on that. Yeah, John Griffin has gone past Trevor Ford, and that will take the pressure off Rory Flahav. If Trevor Ford and John Griffin start trading places, that 4th position, that's going to allow Rory Flahav to concentrate on his times for that 3rd position. And they're into Brands Benz again. There's 144 Trevor Ford and number 63 John Griffin. Out of Devaney's into Nordic Spirit. John Griffin has a look up in the inside of Southside Motor Factors, but can't do anything this time. So may have to conjure up some other way past. But it is Trevor Ford still holding on to that 4th position. And that is in your foreground, Rory Flahav, 3rd place, number 908. There you have Trevor Ford and John Griffin still going toe to toe. Stuart Hession holding on to that 6th position. Westmead rider on the ZX6R Kawasaki. Just behind him is Ross Quinn, 2 Supersport Cup riders. But this is the battle for Trevor Ford and John Griffin. It's John Griffin there, number 63. Quite sure where John is from. We don't have any information in our program about his whereabouts. And with 10 minutes gone in the All-Ireland football finals, 3 points apiece for Armagh and Galway, for those who follow the small ball and the big ball. And 79, here is Gary Crean. And next time around he will have his last lap flag being prepared, but for the moment 2 laps left for the Superbike Cup rider. There is Robbie McGowan coming into shot into turn 1, lap 6 of 7. Fastest lap of the race still with Gary Crean on lap 5 of 151.123. There is that's Stuart Hession. That's Ross Quinn, sorry, 925 at 146. Stuart Hession in front. And the ZX6R. There's Gary Crean once more, exiting turn 4, using all of the road. Bill gets the drive into Lola corner for the penultimate time. Gap of 9 seconds back to Robbie McGarren, so unlikely we'll catch him in shot. before the start finish. Gary Crean with those very distinguished looking pink and black leathers on his R1. As we watch Trevor Foran and Rory Flahav. That's the battle for third, but it seems to be going the way of Rory Flahav at the moment, and has been for the past 3 or 4 laps. As we wait for them to pop into Brands Bends with just over 1 lap left to go. You can see Gary Crean preparing to receive the last lap flag, and there it is being hung out for the Wicklow man. Cup rider in the on the Yamaha R1. There indeed goes Gary Crean. Last time around, turn 1, turn 2, out to turn 3 for the final time. Cuts a solitary figure. Still holds on to that fastest lap on lap 5 with a 151.123. Out of turn 3. This is the battle for 6th and 7th between Stuart Hession and Ross Quinn. Stuart Hession has the measure of it so far. And that is Graham Smallwoods, who's worked his way up into 8th place, the County Derry rider. Apologies, that was Aaron McCann, Adrian Healy. That's Gary Crean, number 79. Out into the left-hander before the drop into 7A and 7B. Remaining corners of this Principal Insurance Superbike Supersport B race. And we some confusion with the transponder of Graham Smallwood, so appears he is back up into 8th position but has an issue with the transponder, so he may drop further down the grid on the timing, but reliably informed he is in 8th position. As we watch Gary Crean exit the Vannies and now breaks into Southside Motor Factors for the very last time this weekend. It's going to be a lonely win for Gary Crean. He'll probably take a look over his shoulder and see nothing else coming. He is clear. R1 has worked well for him this weekend. That's a fine victory for Gary Crean, and some 8-9 seconds back will be Robbie McGurran. Here Robbie comes, number 76, Kildare rider, Cup rider in the ZX10R. And next up should be Rory Flahav, who has made up for that time penalty in race 2 and will pick up 3rd place from and it is Trevor Foran, who pipped Rory Flahav on that last lap to take back his 3rd position, number 144. Then it's Rory Flahav, John Griffin, Stuart Hession, Ross Quinn on the Supersport machines, 146 and 925. Graham Smallwood's transponder issue yet to appear. Has all riders safety back home, and this will be Wayne Gaffney, number 128, exiting Southside Motor Factors. And Lee Hillen and Warren Kavanagh retired on lap 3 and lap 2 respectively. So that will be the result for the Principal Insurance Superbike and Supersport B race, final B race of the afternoon. And next up we will have our Supersport, final Supersport outing of the afternoon. So confirmation on your screen there. In the Cup B race, Gary Crean from Robbie McGarr and Trevor Foran. Rory Flahav, John Griffin, Stuart Hession, Ross Quinn. Graham Smallwoods 8, Aaron McCann 9th, Adrian Heaney 10th, Colin Kerwick, number 238, 11th, Wayne Gaffney 128, as you see, just finished, and the retirements confirmed for Lee Hillen and 912 Warren Kavanagh, both in the Supersport Cup battle. Of course, there is no presentations for the B race, so we will turn our attention next to our final Supersport outing of the afternoon, and hopefully Oisin Maher will be available to take part. We've seen him up and about at the lunch break, but he was in obviously a greater shape than the 600 CBR 600 was, but hopefully that will all have been resolved by now, and we have a full grid in this final race. You can see some activity down in the pit wall garage. See if we can see any movement from the AK Bourne Racing team, fielding both CBR 600s of Emmett O'Grady and Oisin Maher. And confirmation from race control, the pit lane is now open, so can we have all Supersport Cup and Pro riders to pit lane, please? Supersport Pro and Cup riders to pit lane. Hopefully our marshals and grid staff are enjoying the pleasant conditions that we have and that we're due. Oh, that's great to see. Oisin Maher is indeed in contention for this final race, as is Albert Pender, number 428, as a result of his fine performances within the Superbike and Supersport B race, is promoted to Supersport. And there goes Emmett O'Grady, all good. Ahead of him was Daniel Matheson. Still plenty of racing on our programme to get through this evening. Yet to come, we have final Motor 400 pre-injection, and of course our final Superbike race will be our last race of the evening. But for now, it's the Principal Insurance Supersport activity we turn our attention to. And Kevin Keys out after probably a morning that he wants to forget after a tip-off yesterday in the Supersport race, then an issue with the gear selector falling off in race 2 and a retirement. We made up for it with a win in the Superbike race. So if luck goes his way, Kevin Keys won't be far from the mix this afternoon. Again, pit lane is open, so need to get out. I see Des McCassie, number 54, ER6. Keelan Smith hopefully will have caught his breath back from his recent Super Twin podium. Paddock stands and tyre warmers being prepared. And we'll have quick grid interviews as well for this final Supersport race over 8 laps. Uh, 152 Gary Riley already in position, as is Brandon Kavanagh. They'll be anxious to get their last outing underway. Here comes Emmett O'Grady. And there is number 515, Daniel Matheson. And we have some grid interviews prepared up, so we'll straight away hand you over to Jim Halligan.
Endurance Masters. First back on the front row is Emmett O'Grady. Emmett, good weekend so far.
Yeah, I suppose the word's used, plugging away. Up on the podium, bringing home a few trophies, and I suppose not to do anything silly at this point of the season. So it's definitely a case where we have to use our heads but be in the fight as well. So we'll be there.
2 rounds to go after this weekend, so still 6 races to go, isn't it?
7 races including this one, so there's plenty of points on the table, hence why we have to be with the 2 boys if they're going to be in and around it, when they're in and around it, but also to try be in the battle with them. I'm sure we can do it, it's just that we also have to bring it home as well.
Tell us about riding 2 bikes in 2 classes. I know it's a lot of races all weekend.
Yeah, so I suppose naturally the 600 is a bit more suited to myself, but the big bike can be a handful when it's not set up to be gentle, call it, but it's not so bad. I suppose that's what we train for, that's what I've been doing all my life, so don't know anymore.
Well, we're delighted to see you here on pole, so well done.
Thank you.
We'll move across to the middle of the front row. A man a little bit battle scarred from yesterday's Supersport race. Kevin, bit sore today?
Yeah, sore today. Kind of got caught up with the bike yesterday and twisted my knee, so suffering a little bit of swelling and pain, but adrenaline's a great drug.
Yeah, once the old helmet goes on, it sort of gets rid of everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely does. So hopefully now, 3rd time lucky. We've led both races and had to sacrifice the win in the 2 races, so hopefully this one now we can get it over the line.
Yeah, a bit of a technical issue in the 2nd race there. You were leading well. As you say, hopefully the 3rd one. What about the big bike? Is the injury helping you, or is it hindering you on the bigger one?
No, it's actually a little bit worse than the big one. I just tried to manage the race as best I could. I set a pace that I was comfortable riding on, and you know, it was enough to try and keep Brian at bay. But I knew Brian's a good rider. You know, he's smart. I knew he was going to make a pounce the last couple of laps, so I felt quite good in myself. So I upped the pace as well, and thankfully it was enough to get the win across the line. So yeah, me and Brian are 1-1 at the minute. Race 3 will be a battle.
Oh yeah, and the temperatures are up too.
Yeah, air temperature and battle temperature.
Oh, that's the fighting talk. Well done. We'll go back to we might get quick. We don't have time, so we'll have to back to Andy in the tower. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Jim. Hope you have plenty of sunscreen on there with all that sun that's shining on the top of your barnet. So we will have our grids cleared then for the final time for the Supersport riders. And once they disappear for their sighting and warm-up laps, we will give you the grids based on times recorded in the previous race. Glorious sunshine here in Mondello Park for this 8-lap race. James Walsh also back from Armagh, the Cork rider, on that 675R. He will have as many miles up this weekend as Will Roberts, so very good. Well done. Welcome back, James. Andrew Huerty, of course, fresh from his podium. Number 39 also on the Triumph, 675. We also had a 675 powered sidecar here this weekend. Mick Donovan, the Limerick rider, who was instrumental in building his own machines as well, but preferred the torque of the triple cylinder machine to power his latest F2 bike. So good green sectors all over the circuit, good to see this time of the day still. Thanks again to the marshals. In pretty beautiful conditions for a change. The first of our riders complete the last section of the international corners. Jack Huerty on that white Declan Madden sponsored R6. Just ahead of 321, Michael Gillen. There's Kevin Keys, number 515. And there's number 937, Niall Monaghan. From County Meath on the ZX6R, Kawasaki. And riders getting the last bit of heat into those tyres and front brake discs ahead of the storm into turn 1. We're in Brian McCormick's garage earlier on at lunchtime. We've seen his 675. What a racket out of that machine. What a system, exhaust system he must have on that, because it was astonishing. But has chosen not to compete in the Supersport races this weekend. And watching the lights under the bridge. Lights are out. And watch the start. Great start from Kevin Keys. Makes the break, and he will most likely be first into turn 1. Second is Emmett O'Grady. Oisin Maher looks as though he came from the 3rd row and is somewhere 4th or 5th perhaps. See if we can find out. I think he's 5th behind Michael Gillen. Will have his work cut out to make his way through the field, but has 8 laps to do so. But it's still up front is Kevin Keys from Emmett O'Grady. So it's Honda versus Yamaha. Jack Huerty in the mix there also, and looks like Oisin pushing for position once more. That spill in race 2 hasn't dented his confidence in any way, thankfully. Kevin Keys first into 7A and 7B, and will most likely, with the clear track in front of him, be able to post the fastest lap from the start so far. We keep an eye on that when they come around in a couple of moments' time. Well, right now they're into the Vannies and then back into Nordic Spirit, into Southside Motor Fractors, and a gap of 1 second back to Emmett O'Grady on the AK Born Racing CBR 600RR. That was Oisin there just ahead of Brandon Kavanagh. So that was the fastest lap indeed for Kevin Keys with a 1:48.2 and a gap of 400/10 of a second back to Emmett O'Grady. Andrew Huerty in 3rd, Jack Huerty 4th, Daniel Madison 5th, Michael Gillen 5th, Michael Gillen 6th, and 7th position for Oisin Maher ahead of Brandon Kavanagh, Des McKessie and Alex O'Grady as the leaders exit turn 3. The first time on a flying lap, last time this weekend. That's Kevin Keys already exiting turn 4. Six or 7 bike lengths ahead of Emmett O'Grady on the AKR Thomas Bourne Racing Honda. Oh, bit of a bobble from Kevin there. Had to sit the bike up, but wouldn't have lost too much time, you would think. I see into 7A and 7B. Emmett O'Grady won't panic just yet. Plenty of time in this 8-lap race to have a look at Kevin, see, pick some spots maybe where the Honda works harder and better than the Yamaha R6, the Daracor R6. And the riders coming back into shot. And down the start finish at the first flying lap, you'd expect another fastest lap from Kevin Keys. 1:48 the last time out, and he does indeed improve on that with a 1:43.5. Emmett O'Grady still in the 144s. Oisin Maher already up into 5th and making a pass on Jack Queerty will bring him into 4th. So next up he will have Andrew Queerty in his sights. But they are all 8 seconds adrift of the leaders, Kevin Keys and Emmett O'Grady, and another fantastic move from Oisin Maher under Andrew Queerty to pick up 3rd position. So he'll want to bank as many points as he can after that disastrous race 2, but only superficial damage and no injuries, thankfully. So lap 3 of this 8-lap race, and we'd keep an eye on the times of Oisin Maher. He has clean road in front of him, maybe a fresh set of tyres that he was planning anyway. So 8 seconds with 6 laps to make up that margin. It's not undoable. It's possible he was being held up quite substantially by the mid-pack riders. It seems to have already made a good escape from Andrew Queerty, Jack Queerty and Daniel Matheson. So that is going to be the rider we're going to watch for the next couple of laps. Oisin Maher, gap of 1 second between Kevin Keys and Emmett O'Grady, but it's Oisin Maher we want to keep our eyes on, and we will see his lap time probably not that substantially improved now because he was in traffic, but definitely lap 4, which is coming up, is the one we're going to watch. So a 146 flat for Oisin the last time out, so 2.5 seconds adrift of Kevin Keys' best lap, but plenty of time at the moment to make that gap up, we would think, and no traffic in the way. So I'll give you our top 10. It's Kevin Keys from Emmett O'Grady, 2.2 seconds ahead. Then it's Oisin Maher, Andrew Queerty, Jack Queerty, Brandon Kavanagh, Daniel Matheson, Michael Gillen, Desmond Kessie 9th, Alex O'Grady 10th. The Cup class looks like Jack Queerty from Brandon Kavanagh and Michael Gillen. But in the pro category is Kevin Keys from Emmett O'Grady and currently Oisin Maher 8.7 seconds back on the pairing of Kevin Keys and Emmett O'Grady. But the next lap is going to tell us an awful lot about the progress of Oisin Maher. And still plenty of time. We're not even at half race distance just yet. Riders nicely around 7A and 7B. That's that distinguishable yellow bike of Michael Gillen and Des McKessie trying to catch up that chasing pack. That's Andrew Queerty on the 675 with Jack Queerty, the Cup rider, behind him on the Declan Madden R6. And behind him is Daniel Matheson. Great to see Daniel back from the north coming down here to compete again. Also, of course, you'll recognise his name from the Superbike race as well, of which we have one left to follow. So great to see Daniel down and riding hard, riding in Superbike and Supersport. That's Andrew Queerty and Jack side by side. And that last lap for Oisin was a 145, so not making the inroads that he really needs to do, because the gap from Kevin Keys to Emmett O'Grady has gone from 2 seconds to 4 seconds. Kevin did a 143.3 that last lap, so that's over half a second quicker than Emmett O'Grady. And Oisin Maher is 1.5 seconds back from that battle, so that's unfortunate that with 5 of 8 laps competed that we don't have the battle from Oisin that we have. But maybe he's riding sensibly and just thinking that he needs to bank some very valuable points rather than pushing too hard and maybe having another off. Certainly what you don't want this weekend is another DNF, potentially more of a repair bill, but for the moment that's an alright position, P3 from Emmett O'Grady and Kevin Keys. Good damage limitation, for want of a better term perhaps. But there's Jack Queerty still ahead of Andrew Queerty, coming into shot now, and that's Brandon Kavanagh on the number 10 ZX6R as they flop into Baran's Bends. We are at half race distance at the moment. That's Daniel Matheson there on the IMLR LMLR R6 Yamaha. And Kevin Keyes is already out of turn 1. That's Oisin Maher, you've seen coming into shot. Bit of a movement from Andrew Weirty's bike. Made a pass on Jack Weirty, but they're side by side once more. A 155.1 for Oisin Maher that last time around. The gap, pretty too much to expect at the moment, I think, for Oisin to make inroads any further. With Kevin Keyes pushing that Darracor R6 to a 144 last time round, and that was a 144 from a 143.5 on lap 3, with a gap of 6 seconds back to Emmett O'Grady now. So quite a gap, considerable gap between first, second and third. So barring any mechanicals, we are looking with a front row podium for Kevin Keyes and Emmett O'Grady. Oisin Maher 14 seconds back. So hopefully with a pit board he'll make the realization that he's not going to be in a position to challenge first and second, and just to keep it steady, ride sensibly, and keep the bike upright for the remainder of the race, come home with some very valuable points. So in the cup battle, it's Jack Queerty from Brandon Kavanagh and Michael Gillen at the moment. And there's Brandon Kavanagh, you can see sitting up and dropping the bike into Devaney's on lap 6 of 8. And that's Jack Queerty with Andrew. I wonder, are they going to have a look at each other's? And they do. Andrew shows him a wheel but doesn't make it count. Start lap 7 of 8, so last lap flag will be held out next time around. The gap from Kevin Keyes to Emmett O'Grady now has gone from 6 to 6.6 seconds. Fastest lap last time around for Oisin Maher was a 145 flat. That's Jack Weirty and Andrew Weirty into turn 3. Andrew Weirty closes, pushing that Triumph, but not in a position to make any movements just yet, and has stuck behind Jack for the last couple of laps. So might have a last lap trick maybe up his sleeve for the remainder of this 8-lap race. Might just sit there for a moment. He's not under pressure from Brandon Kavanagh or Daniel Matheson just yet, so he might just sit there for a while and maybe make a lunge in the dying moments of this race as they come out of 7A and 7B. It's still Emmett O'Grady in second position from Kevin Keyes and Oisin Maher in third. We can see Jack Weirty and Andrew Weirty into Brands Benz. Here is Kevin Keyes, your leader. Check this lap time. It should be down because there's no need to push any harder. With 2 DNFs in Supersport yesterday and this morning, that's exactly the response you want from Kevin. So yeah, certainly a 144.7 is exactly what you would like to see Kevin doing, with the response from the pit board showing him that he has an 8-second advantage. Absolutely no need to push that bike any harder, and he's responded sensibly with a 144.7. 145.5 for Emmett O'Grady, so maybe his tires are shot also. He knows his battle for the lead is also over, and that is Andrew Weirty, who's got past Jack Weirty once more. Again, Andrew's in the pro category and Jack is in cup, so I think they're just racing for bragging rights on the way home. Nothing to play for but pride at the minute. And there is your leader, Kevin Keyes, on the last lap. And a nice big strong wheelie out of 7A and 7B into Brands Benz for the final time. We'll keep that R6 Darracor Racing R6 as upright as he can. Probably another power wheelie here. And into Nordic for the final time. And lastly, into Southside Motor Factors. He knows there's nobody behind him from his reading his pit board previously. So it's a celebratory wheelie for the Edenderry rider. Return to winning ways for Kevin Keys. And here we have second place Emmett O'Grady on the AKR Thomas Bourne Racing CBR 600RR. And next up should be Oisin, number 5. And a welcome return to the podium for Oisin. Well done. So that is your pro podium. Next up, it's Andrew Whearty, Jack Whearty and Daniel Matheson, 4th, 5th and 6th. But Jack Whearty is the first cup rider home, so that is a victory in itself. There goes Brandon Kavanagh and Michael Gillen, 7th and 8th. Des McKessie, 9th. Next up should be Gary Riley, 152. And he comes home in 10th position. Alex O'Grady, 11th, number 114. Keelan Smith, 12th. Ronan Cosgrave, number 903, and James Walsh, 13th and 14th, respectively. Albert Pender completes the top 15. This should be David Duffy, number 14. Comes home 16th position. And one lap back, Ian Whearty and Niall Monaghan. So lots of congratulations going on in the Supersport podium, particularly to see Oisin back in one piece and picking up a 3rd place. Kevin Keys, of course, will be delighted after the bad luck that he encountered yesterday with a slip off, and today with a gear shifter issue. Emmett Grady confirmed in 2nd position in the pro category, and Jack Whearty's cup winning machine number 267, the Declan Madden sponsored R6, looking very tidy. Brandon Kavanagh there also getting congratulations from the AKR Thomas Bourne Racing team, who have another double podium to celebrate. So it looks as though the podium celebrations are all ready. So over to you, Fergus.
We're ready to go with the final Principal Insurance Supersport podium of the weekend, and we're going to start with the Supersport Cup class. And in 3rd place, it's Michael Gillen. Come on, Michael. Deep in conversation with Brandon Kavanagh, our 2nd place man. So come on up there with him, Brandon. Well done, Brandon. Another podium position. And our winner once again, Jack Whearty. Hop up there, Brandon. I'll give you your trophy in a second. And Jack, well done, Jack. Michael up on the podium again.
Yeah, third time this weekend. Yeah, I was happy enough with that. Probably getting a bit tired in the last race, so probably try and work on the fitness a bit better for the next round. But
well, you were very close to the 2 boys in front. There was a good dice there with 5 of you in it.
There was, yeah. I was starting to get tired and I fell behind and caught up, fell behind, so I couldn't keep with him in the end. But I'm getting there now, slowly moving up the grade now, so happy enough for that.
So very good 4th place start as well.
Yeah, very happy with that, yeah. Yeah, I'd just like to thank Mark Arnott for giving me good base setting for the suspension, and all my family and friends and sponsors. Couldn't do it without you all. Great job.
All right, Michael, well done. Brandon, you were close there the whole way through that one with the group that you were in. You were close to Jack, close to a couple of other bikes as well. Daniel Matheson and Andrew Whearty there. It was a good dice.
Yeah, I was a bit closer in that one, thank God. Made a little change again, and a new tyre made a big difference. Had a bit more grip. Was in behind the boys. Went to make a move on Andrew into Tarzan 1. It was a little bit tight, so I pulled over and they got a little bit of a gap then. But happy to take second and 3 podiums for the weekend.
Would you preferred if those boys were out of the way and you could have just had a go with Jack?
Aye, you always would, but it doesn't happen that way. So look, it is what it is. Happy to finish the weekend off. Good.
Okay, well done, Brandon. Jack, another win. Well done, and another win for the garage down there. They're having a good weekend.
Yeah, another win. Happy out. Delighted to do 3 in the cup now. I haven't won the 3 since the first round, so it's a bit disappointed I couldn't really stick it with the lads. But it's hard when you get so used to being up with them. You want to be there all the time, but I kind of reel it back in halfway through, and happy out. Good weekend.
Yeah, of course, it's nice to be up with them, but you have a championship to think about.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Look, it was a great weekend. Thanks to the lads for giving us all a hand. DM Groundworks, Mick Werty, Kennedy Motorcycles, all the lads, my mum, my dad. I wouldn't be able to do it without them.
Okay, well done to our top 3 in the Principal Insurance Supersport Cup, and we'll move on very shortly to the Supersport proper. I just got to get the trophies onto the podium. Moving on to our top 3 in the Supersport overall. In 3rd place, I've forgotten who's in 3rd place. 3rd place was Oisin Marr, actually, and Willie Marr is going to come up and collect the trophy. Heather Brown's going to come up and collect the trophy on behalf of the team, and Willie. And we will have a word with them because we want to find out about Oisin, so we'll get them to hold on there for a second. And in 2nd place was Emmett O'Grady, Oisin's teammate, and the winner, Kevin Keys. No. Third? Willie won 2nd as well as 3rd. So we'll have a word with who wants to do the talking and tell us about poor Oisin. We saw him come in there. I don't think I've ever seen anybody so distressed looking coming in after a race. So maybe you can tell us what was going on there.
Yeah, well, he come off in the last race, so we've just had to rebuild the bike. And he's fine. He is in a lot of pain, though, and the adrenaline has obviously kicked in, let him complete the race. But now it's finished. He's come down with a bang.
It is a big bang. I honestly never seen anybody in as much pain having finished the race, and the speed he's doing. It's a phenomenal performance.
Yeah. No, I can't believe he actually went out again. And as I said to him, go and do it. Wherever you come, you come. It doesn't matter. Just bring you in the bike home.
Okay, well done to all the team for getting him back out there. And Oisin as well. Pass on our sympathies to for his pain, and hopefully he'll feel better later on. And a teammate to Oisin, Emmett, 2nd place. That's a very unusual race for Supersport. It's very spread out. Can you tell us what was going on there?
Yeah, for the first, I suppose, 2-3 laps, I tried to dig in and stay with Kevin. And I got a few slides, bits and pieces like that, and I was like, after a good weekend, claiming a lot of points on the 2 lads, it'd be very stupid of me now to throw it away. So leaving the weekend with a good gap on the 2 lads, I decided to kind of keep it safe and come home.
Okay, very good. Well done on your performances all weekend. Kevin, that's one of the most dominant wins we've seen in a long time in Supersport. It's not what Supersport usually produces, but well done on such a big victory.
Yeah, thanks. Felt like I just had to go prove a point there. You know, we've had 2 DNFs, one from a crash, one from mechanical, and leading both times. So yeah, no, delighted to give Darkcore back the win there. You know, they've worked so hard all weekend. You know, we've brought Stevie in this weekend as well as a new mechanic, and working very closely with Stevie and Mark Arnott, and they've given me a bike that's worked amazing there in that race. It was not going to say it was easy, but it was probably easy compared to previous Supersport races that we've had around here.
Now, I want you to mention something else here for me now. Fionn O'Connell, because we didn't know earlier on when we were talking to him that he'd beaten the lap record in his class by over 3 seconds, and you've been coaching him, so a little mention for him maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I've have to have a sit down with Darkcore now later on though and renegotiate my contract, because if he's going to keep going that fast, I can't keep helping him, you know. Proof is in the pudding. Look how fucking hard Oisin Marr's pushing me here, and I've given him quite a bit of help, so. But he must be quite a bit of pain, because I've never seen him look so bad.
Okay, thanks very much. They're going to get on with the next race. That's all we have time for. Nice one there, Kevin. So that's our top three in Supersport. We're going to head back over to Andy for our combined race. We've got 3 different classes, so we'll be back with 3 podiums later for pre-injection, classic superbikes and Moto 400 all out together in the one race.
Very good. Thanks very much, Fergus. That was quite a Supersport podium, and at the moment we are looking at our race program with a slight change in that we will combine the last pre-injection and classic superbikes race with our final Motor 400 race of the afternoon. So that will mean that the grid for the pre-injection and classic bikes will get away, and we'll have a slight gap then between our 400 class. And what happened the last time out was we really concentrated on classic superbikes and pre-injection as a good battle was going on. We completely ignored the performances of the Moto 400 guys. So what we will do is we'll see if we can concentrate on that, because the last time out Andrew Murphy was a noticeable omission from the grid. So we can see if we can catch up with Andrew on the starting grid and make sure that he got his running repairs made and is back out for this final Moto 400 race, and dip in and out of the classic superbikes and pre-injection class as it unfolds. But for the moment we will take a look at our grid for the pre-injection superbikes, but we'll concentrate on the Moto 400 for the moment, where the front row looks something like this. So Brian O'Malley is on pole position from Damien Horgan and Michael Owens. So that's Kawasaki, Yamaha. Row 2 is Chris Gray, Peter Doherty and Keane McSweeney. And that is Kawasaki and an FZR Yamaha. Row 3 is David Murphy, Andrew Murphy, from his qualifying time earlier on. We'll put him in the middle of row 3 alongside Blade Tanner. James Ging is back from work. So Damien Higgins and James Ging and Conor McCarthy will finish row 4 for the Moto 400 class. And our pole position, while I have it in front of me, we'll read out. It's Darrell Sharkey from Ian Prendergast, Michael Prendergast, who of course had that dropped the 916 into Southside Motor Factors on the penultimate lap of the previous race. So hopefully nothing too terminal with that, and we have Michael back on the grid. It's not quite sure if he is there. One of those bikes that you usually hear before you see the Terminioni full system on the 916. So again, we will have a 7-lap race with the classic superbikes and pre-injection getting away first. Middle row 2, 3, we can see number 133 Robert Toner. That's the sole R1 in this class. So Michael Prendergast won't start this race. So perhaps the issue was a little bit more terminal than we thought before. So that's our classic superbikes and pre-injections away, and we are waiting for a few moments more, and our Moto 400s are ready to get underway. Anxiously looking to see if Andrew Murphy is there. He's on the middle of row 3 and already makes up 2 positions. And he will be anxious to make some progress, and he's already up into 6th position. Another move into 5th. Chris Gray on his sights. So great start from Andrew Murphy. So perhaps we can keep an eye on that race for the early part of this race. And there is Damien Horgan from Michael Owens. That is Andrew Murphy in the middle of the shot there. Number 154 on the 400 Honda. That is Brian O'Malley on the ZX4RR. Well, thanks to our producers for letting us follow the Moto 400 race. Yeah, Damien Horgan, 2nd position, Michael Owens. Andrew Murphy already making a challenge on Michael Owens, that 157 bike, the FZR 400. So Andrew Murphy won't want to hang around at all. He wants to get past and Michael Owens and get stuck into the battle for the podium. So we have the 400s coming out of Lola and dropping down into 7A7B. Let's see what the battle for third is looking like in a minute. Still Andrew Murphy mounting a challenge on 157 Michael Owens, but Brian O'Malley clearing off into the distance on that modern remake, the brand new relaunch ZXR 400. Andrew Murphy all over the back of Michael Owens. You'd think maybe the FZR might have the legs on the V4 on the straighter stretches as they get into Deveny's. But for the moment, it remains Brian O'Malley from Damien Horgan, 157 Michael Owens, 154 Andrew Murphy. The next lap is going to tell us a lot with their start time. The lap time obviously be a lot slower than the fly-in lap, so the next lap is going to tell a bigger picture about the outcome of this race. But Brian O'Malley anxious not to get caught up in any battles, and he is clearing off and leaving the other podium battles to be decided. But a bit of a gap back already from Michael Owens to Andrew Murphy, so Andrew Murphy may be in trouble in the early stages of this lap as the FZRs of Damien Horgan and Michael Owens extend their lead already on lap 2. So your podium at the moment in 400s is Brian O'Malley, Damien Horgan and Michael Owens. Andrew Murphy up 7 positions, but still off the podium. Let's see, pass being made there. We didn't quite see who was involved. Brian O'Malley, number 8, green ZXR. Already catching a back marker, it would seem. That could be from the classic Superbike and pre-injection race that is underway. And Andrew Murphy, it looks as though Andrew Murphy has got past them back markers and will have Michael Owens back in his sights. Michael Owens has some back marker number, that's number 954. That's Austin McNally. So he does a sensible thing and stays wide, because next up Andrew Murphy is going to swallow him up. That is Damien Horgan tipping into turn 3 on lap 3 of 7. And just give you a quick recap of classic Superbikes and pre-injection. Ian Prendergast leads from Darrell Sharkey and Jay Crean. Robert Toner, Liam Kincannon, Liam Dunn from Alan Smith, Noel Lunn, Vincent Long and Sean Mooney completing your top 10. But we are watching the battle in the Moto 400 class. That's Brian O'Malley just gone out a shot there, coming out of Lola. And next should be Damien Horgan, and it is. And there is Michael Owens from Andrew Murphy. Last lap time for Michael Owens was 1:53 and a 1:55 from Andrew Murphy, so dropping 2 seconds every lap. So that could be Andrew Murphy's chance of a podium over. And we see a black flag being held out for number 53, and that is Cody Purcell. So Cody didn't start the last race, but he is being shown a black flag. So if he has any team members on the pit wall, just let him know he has been black flagged. You need to come in, get off the racing line. So often you see a black flag going out, but in this case we don't want to see anyone else becoming a cropper as a result of a bike maybe dropping fluids. So we turn our attention back to our pre-ejection Supersport race, and that is Ian Prendergast that you can see in the lead, and that should be Darrell Sharkey chasing him down, and then Jake Green. With 68, Ian Prendergast, Tipperary rider, followed by Darrell Sharkey, of course, back up on the podium again. And Jake Crean, number 402, on the R6 Yamaha. As we wait the riders into 7A and 7B. There goes Ian Prendergast into Brands Benz. And Jake Crean, have to keep an eye on his lap time to see if he can reel in Darrell Sharkey, perhaps rain on his parade. Last time out, they both did a 1:49.2 on lap 3. So tyres will be well up to temperature at the moment. More experienced Darrell Sharkey will probably hear the roar of that R6 Yamaha. Bit of a wheelie from Jake Crean down the straight. That'll actually cost him a bit of time. Looks great for TV, of course, but that will give the advantage to Darrell Sharkey, and it's a 1:48.4, so 1:48.9 for Jake Crean will give a bit of breathing space for Darrell Sharkey, but it's still Ian Prendergast who holds that lead. Fastest lap of the race was that last lap for Darrell Sharkey, 1:48.47, with 3 laps remaining in a 7-lap race. Still plenty of time to go. Brian O'Malley still leads the Moto 400 charge from Damien Horgan, and Michael Owens should be next up from Andrew Murphy. Brian O'Malley dropping around the 150s. Next up to him is Damien Horgan, who's doing a 1:51, so gap of 5.6 seconds from Brian O'Malley back to the older classics machines of Damien Horgan and Michael Owens, who are locked in the battle for 3rd and 4th, but it's going away Michael Owens in a minute. So that in shot there is Darrell Sharkey. Jake Crean still hoping for an opportunity to upset the apple cart. So you see a back marker coming in the way. That is nicely done out of the way. That is Darrell Sharkey again, a 402. Jake Crean past the back marker with no issue whatsoever as another one appears on the horizon. Can be tricky, these combined classes, but clean passes made all around from Darrell Sharkey, but impeding probably the progress of Jake Crean, number 402, who's lost a lot of momentum. Next time around, the last lap flag will be prepared, so that gap between Darrell Sharkey and Jake Crean at 1.4 seconds could be enough to see the Cavan rider Sharkey pick up another podium this weekend. But there's a 2-second gap from Ian Prendergast back to Darrell Sharkey, so can't see that being changed too much, as the leader Ian Prendergast, you can see, drop into 7A and 7B for the penultimate time this weekend. Rise above the hill and into the right-hander. That is Brands Benz. Don't think there's too much Darrell Sharkey can do about the lead that Ian Prendergast has. That's Jake Crean just flying through Brands Benz as we see them into Vannies. The two pre-injection R6s of Ian Prendergast and Darrell Sharkey into Southside Motor Factors. That's number 68, your leader, Ian Prendergast. In Moto 400, it's still Brian O'Malley with a 6-second lead from Damien Horgan back to Michael Owens. And we're just trying to see Andrew Murphy. has yet to come around. Hopefully, he seems to have dropped a position to Blade Tanner. So things not going too well for Andrew Murphy this weekend at all, has to be said. Well, the pre-injection could be a foregone conclusion, but I think we might have a retirement from Andrew Murphy, unfortunately. There's Michael Owens, so just passing the tower, so let's keep an eye out for the next Moto 400 riders. It should be Blade Tanner. I think Andrew Murphy is gone. That's unfortunate for the Limerick man. Yeah, here comes Chris Gray and Blade Tanner, so yeah, we've lost Andrew Murphy somewhere. Not quite sure. Last lap flag has been deployed anyway, so we will await the return into Nordic for the last time for Ian Prendergast and Darrell Sharkey. Yamaha 1-2. Jake Crean some 3.7 seconds back. So another win for Ian Prendergast, bolster his chances in the pre-injection class, and a healthy 20 points for Darrell Sharkey also. As we watch the Dunn brothers, that's Noel Dunn, number 107, and Liam Dunn, number 20, in classic superbikes. And that's Blade Tanner just under the start finish. Watch the remainder of these Moto 400 and confirming the win for Brian O'Malley. There goes Liam Concannon, Liam Dunn, and Noel Dunn. Sean Mooney, top 10 finish for Sean Mooney on the Honda Hornet, number 959. Then comes Damien Horgan in second in Moto 400. Vincent Long, Kenneth O'Gorman, Michael Owens completes the podium 157 for Moto 400. That's Derek Royal just passed. There's Peter Doherty, number 34. His finish in the Moto 400. As does 37, Conor McCarthy. Next up should be 954, Austin McNally. And that are the last of the combined Classic Superbike pre-injection 600 riders and Moto 400 riders past the checkered flag for the last time. So there should be lots of podiums planned for the next few moments. That's Peter Doherty coming in the back gate on the ZXR Kawasaki. That unfortunately looks like Andrew Murphy pushing his Honda back in towards turn 4. Under the watchful eyes of Jay Murray. Thanks very much for that, Jay. I always appreciate that. Andrew Murphy is trying to propel that under his own power. Looks like there's no life in the 400 Honda. But big podiums for the moment, so we'll better let Fergus get on with that ahead of our final race of the afternoon. So over to you, Fergus.
Thanks very much, Andy. We're going to have to get moving on with this because for the first time we've got 3 podiums in the one race. So we're going to start with the Classic Superbikes, and we've just got a top 2 in Classic Superbikes. So in second place is Noel Dunn, and the winner is Liam Dunn. Hopefully I got it the right way around this time. I got it wrong the last time. So hop up there. Well done, Noel. Well done. Yeah, let them. Yeah, there you go, Liam. Well done. So it's going to be the quickest of quick words. Noel, quick word.
Done, Wood, and I hope all the marshals had a good time, and thanks for them all being here, okay?
The only man who remembers at every event to thank the marshals. Liam, what have you got to say? You finally beat him.
Yeah, I got him back in the third round, Fergus. Look, great weekend. Sun was out, and so look, we'll do it all in a month's time.
Noel is telling me to get a move on and let the younger lads have their podiums. He's not interested. He wants to keep going. He knows we're stuck for time. So we're going to just get the awards up for the Moto 400 next. So just you'll have to bear with me 1 second while we put up the awards for the Moto 400, and then we'll get the top 3 up for that. And in third place is Michael Owens. Noel was in such a hurry. We'll have a little bit more time to speak to these lads. So Michael Owens up. Second place, Damien Horgan. And our winner, once again, championship leader, lap record holder, Brian O'Malley. We will keep it short. Michael, we've 3 podiums to do and not a lot of time, so we'll keep it short. You see, saving time by picking your own award up. How was that one?
It was good. I have an awful bother with the bike. The clutch was slipping like mad, but it is what it is. It's a bit of mileage and it's just a bit of crack.
And did Andrew push you hard?
Oh, Andrew's some pilot now. I'm wishing him all the best when he goes across to the Manx. I know he'll do a great job, so I'm wishing him good, safe racing over there.
Okay, well, nice to hear that, and a good compliment. Andrew is of course one of our more experienced riders here. Another very experienced man is this man, Damien Horgan. Second place. How do you feel about that?
Happy with that, to be honest with you. A lot of traffic with the combined grid. A lot of lads to kind of get through them cleanly, like, so it was a
different kind of challenge.
A different challenge, yeah. Look, it's good because it brings on the wee racecraft of us setting lads up. But this man was gone again, so we'll have to work some sort of magic. I don't know what.
Okay, well, look, we'll just have to come back now in a month's time and see what you can do. Brian, I'm going to ask you to come down here. I know our cameraman doesn't like it, but you're too high up there. Well done, another win.
Yeah, I'm delighted to get the 3. I was P1 the whole way through the weekend. I had the pace all weekend, and I was watching my lap time. I was doing consistent 150s, and it was enough to hold the gap. And thanks to everyone, Wes, Dad, everyone that came up to watch, Irish Power. It was a great weekend, and overall I'm delighted.
Okay, well done to our top 3. We have to get moving on. Never did manage to present that to you. There you go, the winner's trophy to Brian. So thanks to Michael, Damien and Brian. And we've one more podium to get through, so again we'll have to set those trophies up and we'll get on to the pre-injection. Well, the hardest bit of this is remembering who's who and remembering who finished where. So it's, I think, a third place in pre-injection is Jake Crean. Good to see him back. He's not coming up to talk to us. No, he's on his way now. Second place, Daryl Sharkey. And our winner, Ian Prendergast. Jake presenting himself with his own trophy there. Well done, picking it up. Well done. Good to see you back up there. I know you were having problems earlier, so great to see you back in the race and back up on the podium.
That's it. Look at the last 2 weeks, nothing but problems, engines in and out, and came off the bike yesterday. But good to get back up here and get the third in this race today and finish off on a good note.
Okay. And we'll see you back next time for another go.
Without a doubt.
Well done, Jake. The man who's been on the podium quite a lot this year. Can't quite manage the speed of these two guys, but he's doing very well. Daryl, I know you're never happy with second, but like today, how does it feel?
I'm quite happy with it. Points as prizes. I was catching up to him, but look, it's fun. Great race. I really enjoyed that race. Like,
I know you said when you come in it was difficult out there with the Moto 400s. Not something we'd like to always put you through, but you know it does present a different challenge, obviously.
It's not that. I'd be more afraid of me causing something, an accident, and somebody getting hurt over it. That's the only reason why I'd be weary about it. Like.
Okay, well look, it's not something we want to do all the time. We still, the two boys managed to put on a great show despite all the traffic they had to deal with. Ian, another win over Daryl, never easy to get.
No, they're not easy, but so look, it's great. Like the two of us, we're all pushing on.
That's all I can say. It's a good race.
That'll do me today because we're way behind. We 3 podiums to do, so we let you away with that. And we and Darryl says he keeps giving the trophies to Ian, so he's just handed it over to him. Well done to Darryl, Ian, and to Jake. And we'll be going to the grid now for the build-up to the final race of the day, which is the final Principal Insurance Superbike race of the weekend.
Thanks, Fergus. Yeah, can't believe it's final race of the afternoon already. We've really blitzed through this program, but still lots to contend for the final race with the final Principal Insurance. Yeah, just confirmation race control are ready for our Superbikes, so if we could get Principal Insurance Superbike Cup and Pro riders. Pit lane is open. 8 laps of Superbike action ahead of us. And I have a feeling that many riders will chuck on a new slick rear for this final race of the afternoon. So our pit lane is very busy at the moment with our riders getting ready for the last piece of action for the afternoon. And once they complete their sighting lap and take up their grid positions, we will run you through those grid positions. But for the moment, we'll just watch them for the final time around the international circuit, because the next round in August will be back to the nationals. Very successful weekend of racing here with 3 lap records broken in Super Twins, Moto 1 and Moto 400. Okay, so we'll hand you over to Jim Halligan for a quick grid walkabout.
Thanks, Andy, and we're here with Fergus Brennan. Fergus, I see a few signs around the paddock for some draw. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, well, anybody who was watching the live stream the last time would have seen me have a real rant, I suppose, about this. But it's a very important draw. It's the whole shot draw, and it's been run by Motorcycling Ireland, and we're helping them to do that. But there's nothing. This is not Mondello Park or the Master Superbikes Championship straw. It's Motorcycling Ireland's, and what they're trying to do is raise money to cover the enormous cost of the insurance. But this year they've had to pay the insurance up front, and next year they're going to get a similarly big bill. And they had the resources built up over the years of Motorcycling Ireland to pay for that insurance, but only once. They don't have anything left in the coffers. So in order to help them, we're running a draw where anybody who wants to support Motorcycling Ireland can buy a ticket, or club together with a few people to buy one. They're €100 a ticket, which might be a bit steep for some people, but the top prize is 150,000, or as Eugene Laverty put it in his video that he did for us supporting it, 30,000 pints of Guinness. So €150,000 top prize. And 5 prizes at €10,000, but the €100 all goes directly into the coffers to help support Irish motorcycle racing, and importantly to make sure that we're back here racing again next year, because this draw doesn't make the money if we don't sell the tickets, or if Motorcycling Ireland don't sell the tickets. There won't be any racing next year. We'll be back in the situation we were in last year. Nobody wants that to happen, so please get on to mciholdshot.com and buy your tickets and help support the continuation of Irish motorcycle racing.
Yeah, I'll be buying one myself this evening, so I'll get back to the job at hand. We'll grab a quick word with Brian McCormick in the middle of the front row. We haven't spoke to Brian all weekend. Brian, how's the weekend going?
Oh yeah, 1 win and 1 second so far, so not too bad. So we'll try and I kind of tried to be Wildy Owl Fox in the last one. It didn't really work out. I left it too late and I had no front tyre left and nearly crashed a few times. So yeah, we'll give it a good go this time. We might do it a bit differently, but we'll see.
Double drinks, orange and water.
Yeah, I can't make up my mind. I'm a bit, to be honest, I need to go for a piss now more than drink anything. So no, we'll go out and have a bit of fun. It's a swarm, so I'll hydrate as much as I can.
Yeah, see all the nephews here supporting you this weekend as well?
Ah, yeah, sure. Young Jack is coming to help us all the time. Ryan is here. They've been here since the start, you know. So I don't know, does that mean I'm getting too old to do this or what? But sure, we'll have a bit of fun with them anyway and see.
Well, they're bigger than us now, so we're getting old.
Yeah, exactly. Too many grey hairs.
See you later, Brian. And we'll go back. We'll finish off the conversation we had with Alan earlier. Alan, you were telling us about getting your bike fixed anyway. So you were having a few issues at the start of the year, having a few crashes. Has it worked?
It has, yeah. No, it's definitely it's a different bike to ride now. Fairly difficult now to go around right-hand corners before it was straight. To tell you the truth.
Especially in the right-hand circuit.
Especially in a right-hand circuit. Damn near impossible.
So tell us, what's the plan for the rest of the year? The rest of the Masters anyway?
Look at sure, it's been such a disaster so far. We're just reset. So just championship starts here, and we just kind of finish out the year kind of as best we can, you know.
And any across the water or up north planned as well?
Yeah, look, we could end up north. There'd be nothing across the water anyway. We're not long back from Spain. We done a 24-hour in Catalonia. That was good fun. But no, we'll concentrate on this anyway, and then maybe do 1 or 2 in the north.
Well, that's great, and we're delighted to see you here. Glad to see you, man. Well done. And back to Andy in the tower.
Thanks very much, Jim. Yeah, that was a good reminder for people about the Motorcycle Ireland initiative to fundraise for our insurance bill for next year. Again, it's not just for short circuit racing, it covers enduro, motocross, all of those codes that we have currently in Irish motorsport, Irish motorcycling. So please get on to mciwholeshot.com, pick up your ticket, pool your resources with some mates if you think €100 is a little bit too much for you to afford. But the quicker we get this insurance bill word off our list, the better. So we turn our attention finally to our last Superbike outing of the weekend. And any moment now, our riders will be under their siding lap, warm-up lap, and we will pull up the grid. But for the moment, we'll just look at these beautiful sunny images of Mondello Park from Southside Motor Factors looking into turn 1. Green flag from John Rock. Good to go. See our riders circling out of turn 3. This is of course just a side lap. Shawnee Smith there, number 13 on the R1, and he is in good company. Kevin Madigan, number 147 on the second Dara Core R1, of course. Kevin Keys on the existing number 5 R1. As we watch the riders execute 7A and 7B, they stream through together. Looks like Declan Madden, number 833 on the BMW S1000 RR. Number 888 is Davin Casey on the GSX-R 1000. And there's Brian McCormick, number 111 on the FHO Racing by the Roadhouse Macau BMW M1000. As they drop into Devaney's and back into Nordic. Nordic Spirit and Southside Motor Factors, and for one more time. And once they get their sighting lap and out of the way and warm up lap, we will pull up the grids for this last 8-lap race. Just waiting on one or two more riders. TMR Yamaha 114 Alan Kenny. Number 5 Kevin Keys, the Eden Derry rider, looking for maximum points to bring home. We will be underway any moment. And it's a good start from Brian McCormick. Just creeps the front wheel in the air but doesn't let it turn into a wheelie, which would lose time. But we watch Brian McCormick gets the shot into turn 1. Kevin Keys fights back, so it's going to be neck and neck into turn 2, but it's Brian McCormick who holds the advantage. So let's see. We didn't get a chance to look down to see what tyres were being introduced for this race, but I would imagine a new rear slick for this 8-lap affair is exactly what would be Brian's preference. Wheelies the bike, drops it into turn 4. Kevin Keys runs slightly wide. He'll get on the gas early to get the drive out into Lola corner. As their chasing pack ensues, it's still Brian McCormick into Lola. Kevin Keys, Emmett O'Grady goes under Alan Kenny to take 3rd place. Alan Kenny takes it back. That's Brian into 7A and 7B and back out of view from shot, but on our cameras we can see into Brands Bend. It is still Brian McCormick who leads Kevin Keys on the Roadhouse Macau Racing by FHO Racing BMW M1000, being chased down by the Darracor Racing R1 of Kevin Keys. And back into Southside Motor Factors, hard on the brakes. They will commence their first flying lap. And first fastest lap of the race so far is Brian McCormick with a 146.2, 146.6 for Kevin Keys. So very little between them so far, but what will matter is the next couple of laps. Brian has the clear track in front of him, so he's making full use of that with a 0.4 of a gap, 0.4 second of a gap back to Kevin Keys. And Kenny in 3rd confirmed from Emmett O'Grady. Good response from Aaron Brady from row 2, and he is already up into 5th position. Daniel Matheson is 6th. 7th position, Rona Waters, Shawnee Smith, Declan Madden and Davin Casey completes your top 10. As we watch the riders drop into Lola. Double right-hander Brian McCormick. Kevin Keys right up close to Brian now at the moment, so we might see a move from the Eden Derry rider in the next couple of sectors. Has a look at 7A, doesn't see anything for the moment. But still Brian McCormick holds off Keys on the Darracor R1 as they drop into Brands Bends. Kevin Keys has a look under Brands Bends, but not quite close enough. And probably nowhere to go in Devaney's as they drop into this left-hander before they rejoin the national circuit after Nordic Spirit, and then back into the Southside Motor Factors corner. So Kevin Keys holding firm in 2nd place. Still Alan Kenny in 3rd from Emmett O'Grady. Let's keep an eye on what the lap times are for this 142 for Brian McCormick, but a 141.8. So Kevin Keys shows that there's plenty of speed still in this R1 as they head out towards turn 3. Still Brian McCormick, smallest of margins to Kevin Keys. Drops the bike into turn 3, picks it up for the double apex and back out hard on the gas. And back into turn 4. Kevin Keys having a look as he's had before many times, but not this time. This occasion, Brian McCormick leads out of turn 4 with 6 laps left to go of this 8-lap race. into Lola once more. And then the slight drift to the left-hand side before they drop in once more into 7A and 7B. Kevin Keyes right up there, but there is no passing opportunity on the entrance to 7A or 7B. So he'll have to look elsewhere if he wants to get past the Tramore rider Brian McCormick. And he does have a look under Brands Bends. And that's a cracking move from Kevin Keyes to get past Brian McCormick. Is there a counter-attack from Brian McCormick? Can he get the bike stopped and turned into Devaney's? Not quite. So Kevin Keyes has got past Brian McCormick in towards Brands Bends. So all to do for Brian once more if he wants to go home with a win this weekend. So Brian stops the bike, turns it and tips the apex early before they drag down the straight one more time to start lap 4 of 8. Kevin Keyes that time did a 1:42.3. Brian did a 1:42.7. So a gap of 0.4 of a second from Kevin Keyes to Brian McCormick, but it looks as though that's been extended into turn 3 as we see them come back into view over turn 3 and into turn 4. Kevin Keyes has broke the toe somewhat of Brian McCormick. And we will see what he could do in the back section of this international circuit for the final time this weekend. Kevin Keyes having a much better look on the Superbike than he's had in the Supersport outings. And still not much between them. It says 0.4 on the screen. In reality, it could be quite closer than that if Brian can just make up a few tenths here and there. Mounted challenge with the next couple of corners, but he seems to have fallen back again within those twisty sections of 7A, 7B, Brands Bends and Devaney's. So it's advantage Kevin at the moment. And this should show a more substantial lead for Kevin Keyes once they pass the tower one more time to complete half race distance. We'll keep you updated on that time. 1:41.8 for Kevin, 1:42.3 for Brian, so that's almost gone out to a second of a gap for Kevin Keyes from Brian McCormick. And Kevin has really extended that lead out into turn 3 once more. He's got his head down. Clean sectors in sector 1, sector 2. Brian McCormick has dropped back. Alan Kenny leads Eamon O'Grady in 3rd and 4th at the moment. Aaron McBride still holds on to that 5th position. But in the lead it is still Kevin Keyes from Brian McCormick. Alan Kenny in 3rd, 4.7 seconds back. And as we watch them enter Lola Corner, Brian McCormick is going further and further back from Kevin Keyes. 7A, 7B, in and out for Kevin and Brian. That's Alan Kenny and Eamon O'Grady in the background. And in the cup battle, it's Rona Waters from Shawnee Smith and Declan Madden. As we watch our leaders come back into shot towards the paddock at Brands Bends, it is Kevin Keyes who breaks into Southside Motor Factory for Brian McCormick. There's a gap of over a second after opening between Kevin Keyes and Brian McCormick at the moment. Another 1:41.9 for Kevin and 1:42.3 for Brian, so a gap of 1.2 seconds. Kevin Keyes is already out of turn 1 into turn 2 and heading for turn 3 as Brian McCormick gets the bike stood up to get on the gas for the good drive into turn 3. But realistically, it's going to be a very difficult battle for Brian McCormick to get back into this. At the moment, you just can't see where he's going to make up that time as we enter the international section once more. Seems to be losing more time here, Brian. than in the national section, which he probably is more familiar with. 6 laps completed of 8. You can see them round Lola corner, up the hill into the left-hander before they drop down into 7A and 7B. This next lap is going to tell a lot about what the dying stages of this race is going to be about. There is Kevin Keyes into Brands Benz. 1 to 1.5 second of a gap already for the Eden-Derry rider. And next time around the last lap flag will be out. But for the moment, it's all for Brian to do. But Kevin has rode a superb race from the outset. As we watch them exit turn Southside Motor Factors to start their second last lap of the weekend. Turn 2 out to turn 3. Penultimate lap for our Superbike riders. Brian's come back slightly, but maybe Kevin has turned the wick down slightly, and he has with a 142 in that last lap. He has let that lead probably come in somewhat, but will probably have enough in the tank to fend off any attack from Brian if he can mention and if he can manage anything in this last lap and a half. That gap is down to just a second. Perhaps Brian, if we can find some space to get to break it. He is back on Kevin Keyes, so it's not all gone Kevin's way in the last 2 laps of this race. The last lap flag is being prepared, and our riders are already into Brands Benz. Our leaders are into Brands Benz. That's Kevin. Gap is down to just a second flat at the moment, so one lap left for Brian on the Roadhouse, Macau Roadhouse by FHO Racing BMW to mount a challenge. Kevin Keyes, but Kevin Keyes will be well aware. He'll hear that M1000 booming in the background. Brian has a look into Southside Motors Factors to take a different line out, but 1 lap to go. It's still all to play for, and you will see that the times Brian probably went faster in that lap than he has done in previous laps, and he has with a 141.8, a 142.7 last time around for Kevin. So he is in a position to mount a challenge at the moment as they head out to turn 3 for the last time. 4 or 5 of bite lengths, but Brian reels him in on the brakes. The double apex turn 3. Let's see who's sharpest on the gas. It is Kevin Keyes, who still leads out of turn 3 into turn 4. With just half a lap left to go. Brian has a look around the outside. It means he'd stand the bike up and get the drive in earlier, which might help his entry into Lola corner. But for the moment, it's all for Kevin. Brian has an enviable task to complete of passing Kevin as to drop into 7A and 7B for the last time. And out, and that will take them up the rise into Brands Benz. As they do to Kevin, I think Brian has dropped back slightly again. This is a section where Kevin is typically stronger, so just 3 corners left for Brian if he has anything left in the tank. Into Devaney's. Can't see him doing anything except a bit of a wobble from the M1000 there at the last exit of Devaney's, and into Nordic for the last time. There's nothing Brian can do, I don't think. It's going to be Kevin who's going to take his 3rd Superbike win of the afternoon. A bit of a drag race, but I think it's advantage Kevin at the moment. But hold on, Brian McCormick just almost pips the last minute. But a win for 1.16 of a second from Brian McCormick for Kevin Keyes. And Emma O'Grady does pick off Alan Kenny in the end to take that final podium spot on the VTL Tag Honda. Alan Kenny confirmed in 4th, Aaron McBride holds on to that 5th position, number 28. Shawnee Smith 6th. Rona Waters 7th. 8th will be Declan Madden, just passing start finish on his BMW S1000. Next up should be Davin Casey, number 888. Kevin Madigan then should be next past the post, number 147 on the 2nd. Dara Core, R1. And there goes Ian. Colin Murphy, number 185. And we are waiting just 1 or 2 more machines back into Park Fermat. This should be Ian Huerty to complete his last lap. That is 86 of Ian Huerty. So that's confirmation. Kevin Keys wins from Brian McCormick and Emmett O'Grady. Your cup victory is Sean Smith. Shawnee Smith from Rona Waters and Declan Madden. Confirmation on your screen there of the win for Kevin Keys on the Dara Core R1M ahead of Roadhouse Macau BMW M1000 by FHO Racing. Emmett O'Grady 3rd on the Tag Racing Honda CBR 1000 RR. Alan Kenny 4th. Cup victory for Shawnee Smith. So again, 2 podiums here from Rona Waters, and Declan Madden completes the Superbike Cup podium. So that concludes our program events for today. Our next Masters Championship will be in the 3rd week in August. Hope you can all join us for that. And you can see lots of happy faces in the Superbike Pro and Cup podiums, which will be handled by Fergus Brennan any moment now. I hope you've enjoyed our live stream. Thanks very much, myself, Andy Quinn. It's been a great weekend of action. Again, just final reminder, if you can indeed support the MCI Hold Shot initiative to help with our insurance premium for 2025, get over to mciholdshot.com. Tickets are €100. Buddy up with some of your pals if you can at all, and let's get these ticket numbers up and try and ensure that we have a guaranteed 2025 for all our codes. It's not just our Principal Insurance Master Series. We want to have everything for our Enduros and motocross as well. So thanks again, once again, for your time. For the last time this weekend, we'll hand you over to Fergus Brennan.
And for the last time, thanks very much to Andy. Thanks for Andy for all your work this weekend. Not easy talking all day for 2 days with no one else to help you. So good job done there by Andy. Thanks very much to him. Final Principal Insurance Superbike podium of the weekend. Going to start as usual with the Superbike Cup. And in 3rd place in Superbike Cup, it's Declan Madden. Declan going to make his way up. 2nd place, and hopefully Shawnee Smith is listening to us this time and he'll make his way up. He has the helmet off, he's ready to go, has all the family with him. So we're going to have plenty of people up here on the podium with us this time. And the winner once again in Superbike Cup, it's Ronan Waters. Sorry, it's been a long weekend. Ronan Waters 2nd and Shawnee Smith 1st. Yay! Sorry about that. That's what happens when you stop watching in the last couple of laps. And these guys go and change places in the last couple of laps. So sorry about that. Particularly sorry to Shawnee taking his win away from him. We'll go and have a chat with Declan. Well, Declan, did you get another one of your trademark bad starts there?
Yeah, so ridiculous. Look, it is what it is. We're home in one piece, so wait for the next one.
Well, Friday before the next one, you better be doing plenty of practice starts out of the pit lane.
I actually won't be here at the next meeting, so I'm at the last meetings.
Well, the last one then in September. We'll be glad to see you back then. And thanks for all your support of everything, and well done on the weekend.
Thank you.
That's Declan Madden of DM Groundworks, supporter of our junior championship. And Ronan Waters, you led a long way there and you fooled me. I thought you'd won it.
Look, it was a pressured race, to be honest. Shawnee on my tail the whole time, you know, so I just wasn't able to keep. I was losing the front, losing the rear, so I said I'd set for second. Happy out.
So you're saying you let him past?
Sorry?
You're saying you let him pass?
I know. He put me on too much pressure, he did.
Fair play to him. Sean, I think that's your first win. Is that right in the Cup? Well, there's not been too many of them, and it's the first time you've done one on a Sunday anyway, and you've been up here on the podium on top spot, I think. So well done.
Yeah, that's it. Got a win yesterday and again today, and you were nearly taking it off me there a minute ago. But no, delighted, hey, and just want to thank all the boys. You know, they're always there helping out. My brother Benny puts in lots of work as well, helping out, and you know, it was brilliant. Ronan race, brilliant there. I was behind him for whatever until the second last lap, and a great race. But I said he was going to do the work for a change. So. Well, I apologise for that. In the future, I'll watch till the very last lap, so I'll make sure that I get it right. You better.
All right. Thanks very much to our top three: Declan Madden, Ronan Waters, and to Shawnee Smith. Well done. The top three in our final Cup class race of the weekend. And now we move on to the final race of the weekend. A cracker at the front as usual. Swapping and changing the places for the lead and a very close finish. We just got to get the trophies up and then we'll get on with our podium. And in third place, after a race-long battle with Alan Kenny, it's Emmett O'Grady. No stranger to the podium this weekend, Emmett. Been up here quite a lot. We've spoken to him quite a few times. In second place, I know he was very disappointed with it when he came into Park Ferme, Brian McCormack. Put up a great show though, put up a great fight and nearly got the win at the end. Just a tenth of a second in it at the end after a big fight back by Brian. And then the winner, again, not for the first time this weekend, is Kevin Keys. So while Kevin's making his way up there, we'll present Emma with his trophy. Well done, Emma. A bit of a tough battle there with Alan Kenny.
Yeah, Alan passed me, and I think it was the second lap, and I knew the boys were going hot, and I didn't think I'd have the pace. I'd just been tired in general, and our bike isn't just set up for the big track yet. So just dug in with Alan, and I said, last lap. I've seen where a few places he was a lot faster than me, a few other places where I was able to gain him, and I just dug deep and passed me. We passed each other a few times, and then he passed me out the back, and I just stuck it into him in tires and in the middle, and worked out for me and unfortunately for him. But I'm happy with the result. Thanks to the team for everything. Thanks to all the sponsors and everything for being behind me.
Well done on a great weekend across both classes, Supersport and Superbike. So we move on to Brian. Brian, you gave that a really good go, and you certainly exclaimed something at the end there when you came into Park Ferme. I don't think you were terrible happy with how close you ran it.
Yeah, I gave the middle of the race a bit of a break, and I was kind of confident I could catch in the brakes in a couple of places, so I said, right, give yourself a break and go for it. And then, in fairness, Kevin's riding amazing. I left it too late and just messed up the second last corner, and I was on the curb and there's no grip out there, so I wasn't going to try and do something silly into the last corner. But Kevin's riding great, Emmett's riding great. It's been a good day, so we're all home one piece.
But you still got someone now at the final corner. You nearly got him there in the line.
Yeah, I tried to go around the outside and that never really works, but I had no other options, so I just gave it a go and see what would happen.
Okay, well done. Great to have you here again. No, you'll be missing for the next one, but hopefully you'll be back in September to fight with Kevin again. Kevin, I'm sure you're hoping he'll stay away now after that.
No, definitely not. I love a tight race. You know, there's nothing like battling side by side, and Brian, he's a serious hard rider. You know, and when you have to really push to try and beat someone, it makes a race really fun.
Okay, well done on all weekend. I know you had a little bit of an injury in one of the races, so good battling to keep going through 6 races this weekend in Supersport and Superbike. Thanks to everybody on the podium here today. Thanks to all of our riders, all of our marshals and officials, and the Principal Insurance and all our other sponsors, Megabikes with the Twins class, DM Groundworks with the juniors, and then we've Sorcon Plant, Motorland, Principal, who we mentioned, Elco Fire, OHA Motorsport, and Darracor, who also run the team that Kevin rides for. So big investment by them in the sport. We're delighted to have all of them on board. Glad to have you all here. Hope you enjoyed watching what we put out on the live stream this weekend, and we'll be back with you again on August 24th and 25th. So from myself and Andy, thanks very much and goodbye until the next time.
The Masters Superbike Championship is brought to you by Principal Insurance, part of Howden. For motorbike, car, van and home insurance, Principal Insurance have you covered. Get a quote today. The Masters Superbike Championship is brought to you by Principal Insurance, part of Howden. For motorbike, car, van and home insurance, Principal Insurance have you covered. Get a quote today.